If you've ever fallen asleep during a lightning delay, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Folks, welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, where we close out the first week in September. Today will be the Friday, September 5th edition. We're going to cover all the news going on. We have a non-farm payroll and unemployment rate report today at 8:30. That's going to be the big item of the day that's likely to affect markets and pick our next direction. Currently, we're slated to open at all-time highs. So we'll see if we're able to hold that here into the open. Football's back. We're back. We're closing out an exciting week here. Benzinga's pre-market playbook for Friday, September 5th starts right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I know with football being back, I sure did. So I hope that you did as well. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. And don't worry, we're going to get through this Friday session. We're going to make some more money and we're going to do it again because we got another game tonight. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. Candace, firsties. Let's go, Candace. You are, in fact, first today. Firsties on a Friday. Candace, good morning. Welcome back. Paul, good morning. Football is back. All caps. Add a couple of exclamation points to that. How excited are we? By the way, Cowboys and the points. Anyone else take that? I was talking about that yesterday. Remember when I was getting called crazy and how the Eagles were going to win by 2 touchdowns? Yeah, how did that go? LOL. Florida Yacht Insurance Guy, good morning. Welcome back. Francis, good morning. Sun-Kissed Yogi, good morning. Zach McCracken, good morning. Monza weekend for me, you football geeks. Actually, I also watch F1, especially when it's on early in the morning on Sunday before anything else starts. I actually really like it. Monza is a great track. I prefer, my favorite track is Spa. But Monza is really awesome. I'll be checking that out too. Zach, let me know who you got. Big B's, good morning. Happy Friday. Be aware of falling Lulu knives. We're definitely going to take a look at Lululemon. They reported earnings and they're getting slaughtered here this morning, down 20%. But you know what? We had a pretty good trade on CRM's earnings yesterday, and that was down. We'll see if we get the same thing here with Lululemon. We're going to be ready for that. That's for sure. Big B's, let me know how you are, or let the group know how you are trading Lululemon today. Crimp Biscuit, good morning. Great to see you. Brent, good morning. Welcome back. Big Bear Hug, good morning. Corey, good morning. Billy, good morning. Ryan and the producer, locked in. Good morning. Jared, welcome back. Pete, good to see you again. Hopefully you're well. Welcome back. Why were we staying away from NBY? I think I missed this the other day. Was that because it looked like they were going to raise capital, or they were going to need to raise capital? I actually just traded better setups than NBY. I don't know if there's necessarily a reason to stay away, but we'll look at that here today. Tanya, good morning. CRM had a nice trade yesterday. Thanks for the mention. Tanya, I'm so glad that you said that. Start off with the registering. The reality is that CRM trade, that they rarely work that well. That was absolutely awesome yesterday. That thing paid all day. And I know in the morning here, I'd actually scalped it a couple of times. The last entry, especially since I had profit built up, I was like, I'm really going to wait and let this one go. And it paid all day. So CRM, that was a great trade. Great to see a bunch of other members making some money off that. Tanya, that's absolutely fantastic. Get ready for another great Friday here. Big Dave, good morning. Jonathan, good morning. Cad Monkey, good morning. Bernhard, good morning. Yassine, good morning. We will take a look at Broadcom as well, ticker AVGO. Maybe we'll have a trade on that here today. Marty, good morning. I've had a hard time investing in something called Lulu. Totally get it. And investing is tough. That stock is volatile. But for trades, maybe we'll be able to do something. Knights Lance, good morning. Abby, good morning. Big Milkshake Trading, good morning. Neville, good morning. Day Traders back and locked in, good morning. Ezra, good morning. All that glitters. Love it, man. Good morning. Yassine says Lulu will be a bounce. That's one of the things that we're going to be looking for. I would caution you, though. let's not just assume that right away. Let's be patient and tactical on the entry, just in case it takes another leg down here. Cushley, good morning. Dreamer, good morning. Who am I missing here? Hints Boatworks, good morning. Fox Lake, Illinois. All right, another Illinois. Fox Lake, I think, is what, like 45 minutes from me, probably something like that. Good stuff. Hints Boatworks. Learn with Moses, good morning. Brandy, welcome back. Durkis, good morning. Smita, good morning. Cam, good morning. The man from Snowy River, good morning. Aviator Chris, good morning. Rustam, welcome back, Rustam. It's good to see you. Bob, great to see you again. Lambo Rolls, Dan, and Alessandro, good morning. There's Lion Atlas, locked in. Lion also thinks Lululemon's going to bounce. Okay, really good stuff here, folks. Okay. Sarah, here we go. Brandy said, when I asked about MBY last week, it was a 178 special dividend scared me, so I passed. That's right. That's the one that has the special dividend, and that's not the one that you have to hold, right? Or is that the one that you have to hold from the record date to the distribution date? I'd have to look it up. I don't have it memorized. Norma, good morning. Welcome back. All right, folks, let's get rolling here with the stock market today. All right, futures are green ahead of Friday's open here on September 5th. S&P futures up 0.15%. Dow futures down 0.18%. That's actually extending a little bit of a loss here in the pre-market. And the NASDAQ up by 0.5%. We are slated to open at all-time highs. But before that happens, we have the non-farm payrolls and unemployment rate data print that will likely set the direction for the rest of the day here. Now, let's take a look at some cues from last session. Most sectors in the S&P 500 closed positively, with industrials, communication services, and consumer discretionary stocks posting the biggest gains on Thursday. However, utility stocks bucked the market trend, ending the session lower. This broad rally was driven by signs of a cooling labor market in August, cementing expectations that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates at its September 17th meeting. Meanwhile, Science Applications International Corporation's ticker SAIC stock dropped 6% after its second quarter 2026 earnings report. Economic reports bolstered the case for a rate cut. The ADP National Employment Report revealed only 54,000 jobs were added in August, a steep fall from the 106,000 in July, and below the 65,000 median forecast. U.S. initial jobless claims for the last week of August also rose by 8,000 to 237,000, surpassing expectations of 230,000. In other news, the ISM Services PMI increased to 52% in August from 50.1 in July, and the U.S. trade deficit grew to $78.3 billion in July from a revised $59.1 billion. Now, investors and economists are bracing for another weak print in Friday's non-farm payroll report. That's due out here in about 22 minutes. With the consensus looking for 75,000 new jobs in August. The other big piece of news here comes from Tesla. Tesla is asking investors to approve yet another outsized pay plan for CEO Elon Musk. That's according to the financial filings that were out Friday. The proposed compensation plan for Musk, already the world's wealthiest individual, consists of 12 tranches of shares to be granted if Tesla hits certain milestones over the next decade. It would also give Musk increasing voting power over the EV maker and aspiring robotics titan, which he has publicly demanded since early 2024. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.16%, and the 2-year bond yielded 3.59%. All right, folks, let's take a look at some insights from some analysts as well. Investors are keenly watching for the August employment report, viewing it as one of the pieces of the puzzle for the Federal Reserve Open Markets Committee interest rate decision on September 17th. The market consensus overwhelmingly anticipates a weak report that will push the central bank to act. According to the CME Fed Watch tool, the odds of a rate cut now stand at above 90%, a sentiment echoed by market analyst Ed Yardeni. He noted that stock investors have adopted a, quote, no downside, only upside perspective. I know it's scary to hear that. We've been talking about this on Happy Hour as well. When everyone seems bullish, that's likely when we get a really big pullback. Quote, if the jobs report is weak, then the FOMC will deliver a Fed put in 2 weeks, end quote. Yardeni wrote this on Thursday. Conversely, he adds, if the report is better than expected, that's bullish for earnings. So yet another postponement in rate cutting by the Fed is no problem for the stock market. I got to be honest with you, just taking a break here from that. I think that the cut is already priced in. I think this move to new all-time highs is the rate cut being priced in. That's part of the reason why I think we actually set up for a sell the news event when the rate cut actually takes place. But in this case, if we don't get a rate cut, I suspect that you would see a violent move down as traders kind of reprice the market without that rate cut in there. Let me know what you think about that. I'm curious to see if anyone else thinks that that rate cut is priced in. This optimism persists despite conflicting economic data. Yardeni points to a resilient economy with the Atlanta Fed's GDP Now model tracking for 3% real GDP growth for the third quarter. His main objection to rate cuts is that it will probably fuel a melt-up in the stock market. In market commentary titled, quote, the waiting is the hardest part, end quote, Scott Wren, senior global market strategist at Wells Fargo Investment Institute, confirmed that the market is convinced a cut is coming, pricing at over 90% probability. However, Wren emphasized that the Fed remains, quote, data dependent. He states the decision to either cut rates this month or hold pat will likely come down to what these reports, particularly the employment report and the CPI, show. We've been talking about the Fed being data dependent since we really started tracking a lot of this. No surprise there. While Yardeni sees strength, the Wells Fargo report notes that the U.S. economy is slowing. It's also highlighting other market pressures, including U.S. government deficit funding concerns that have helped push the 30-year Treasury bond to yield to nearly 5%. Amid these cross currents on yields, strategists are adjusting their positions. The Wells Fargo team is trimming exposure to small caps and the communication services sector, which they see as fully valued after the robust rally since the April lows of Liberation Day. The Institute has also downgraded the energy sector to reallocate capital into financials, anticipating the short-term rates will fall while the long-term rates rise. Okay, I had asked you if you think that this is, if the market's going to reprice if we don't get a cut, and if that's already kind of baked in. Billy says absolutely. Tracy says, I think the same, Ryan. So yeah, sure looks like that. It seems like we're all kind of on the same side there. So we'll see. Terrence here is saying it's going to be a bad jobs report today. Everyone going to run to bonds. So again, we are expecting that report here in 17 minutes. Another quick look here at the market. S&P futures have dipped a little from when the show started. Dow futures are actually at the low here, down 0.25%. That marks the low of the pre-market. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Lululemon. And you know what we'll do? We'll actually start with the chart here. Let me bring Lululemon up. This one, Lululemon and Broadcom, probably the two big cap stocks that I want to know if you folks are trading and how here today. If we take a look inside, this gives you an idea of what's going on with Lululemon. They reported earnings yesterday that were not great. They lowered full year 25 guidance. And then this morning, multiple analysts downgraded the stock. So you can see when the earnings report came out, we had a big impulse move down. And then we've just kind of drifted lower. We drifted lower in the after-hour session yesterday. We, again, on the back of those downgrades here today, we're drifting even lower. So I think the key here for a potential trade is, does this find any support level? As mentioned earlier by several of you folks, I really don't think that the trade plan here should be to catch a falling knife. Instead, we should wait for this thing to bottom out. If we go back to CRM, which was an extremely successful trade from yesterday, this is exactly what we did. We basically marked out the pre-market range, both the high and the low of the pre-market range. And when CRM sold off here and it looked like it put in this bottom right around 236, it actually dipped, I think, to 234 at the low and a 234 handle. Once it put this bottom in, the rest of this was easy like Sunday morning. It just continued to trade up again. I don't know if we're going to get that here in Lululemon, but this is absolutely one of the things that we're going to be looking at here for Lulu. Let's dive into the report and see what they had to say. However, Lululemon reported financial results for the second quarter after the market closed yesterday. Lululemon reported second quarter earnings of $2.53 billion, missing the consensus estimate of $2.54 billion, barely missed there. That's according to Benzinga Pro. The company reported second quarter earnings of $3.10 per share, which beat the analyst estimate of $2.90 per share. Total revenue was up 7% on a year-over-year basis as America's net revenue increased 1% and international revenues climbed 22%. Total comp sales increased 1% year over year. Lululemon's total store count was 754 at quarter's end after opening 14 new company-operated stores during the quarter. Inventories were up 21% year over year to $1.7 billion. Lululemon ended the quarter with approximately $1.2 billion in cash and cash equivalents. The CEO, Calvin McDonald, says, quote, "While we continue to see positive momentum in our international regions in the second quarter, we are disappointed with our U.S. business results and aspects of our product execution." Now, I want to pause right there because Lululemon has been a hot topic of discussion for anyone that has been trading for a number of years now. And it really seems to me like competition is finally starting to hit this stock. You talk to anybody that, even folks that are a fan of Lululemon products, and the Lululemon products that I own, I really love. But the reality is that I am constantly trying competitors, whether they're Fabletics or Costco or anything else. I'm constantly trying competitors, and you find out that a lot of these competitors are really, really close in quality and feel and much cheaper in price. And I think that that is really kind of dragging on Lululemon. It'll be interesting to see if they turn that around. It would be interesting to see if they have any price adjustments or sales or anything like that. But it really feels to me like competition is really starting to weigh on the stock that was once a retail darling. He goes on to say, quote, "We have closely asserted the drivers of our underperformance and are continuing to take the necessary actions to strengthen our merchandise mix and accelerate our business," end quote. Being kind of vague there, but I do think he's actually addressing competition. They want to strengthen their merchandise mix. Well, the same equation that has been successful for them looks to not be as successful right now. How do they tinker with that, and what are the results? I think that's the $64,000 question coming here. Lululemon expects third quarter revenue of $2.47 billion to $2.5 billion versus the estimates of $2.57 billion. As we've been discussing here pretty much every day, companies that report earnings and lower guidance get punished the next day, and it's no different here in the case of Lululemon. The company anticipates third quarter earnings of $2.18 to $2.23 per share versus the estimate of $2.94 per share. Lululemon also lowered its full year 2025 outlook. Lulu now expects full year revenue of $10.85 billion to $11 billion and full year earnings of $12.77 to $12.97 per share. Analysts had been anticipating full year revenue of $11.18 billion and earnings of $14.52 per share. That's according to Benzinga Pro. So let me know what you think here on Lululemon. I'm definitely going to be looking at this for a bounce, but I'm not going to be too early on this. This is one of those, like I was saying earlier, I don't think that catching the knife is the right move. I think the right move here is being a little bit more conservative and maybe waiting for this to carve out some type of tradable intraday bottom that we can then stop against the intraday lows. So curious to see if any of you take this trade or have an outlook here on Lululemon. I'd be curious to listen to both sides of that. Jared said, "Didn't Lulu sue Costco?" Yes. And if you remember the morning that they announced that, we had a nice big laugh about that. They're not going to win that lawsuit. And we actually just saw that. Remember, there was a lawsuit filed by TaylorMade when Costco created the P790 irons with the Kirkland label and then sold it for like half the price. Basically the same golf club, high-end golf club at half the price. TaylorMade sued Costco and Costco won. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Again, Lululemon, in my opinion, here has exactly 0% chance of winning that lawsuit. So that to me is a non-factor. Let's keep rolling through some of the news here. OpenAI to mass produce first proprietary AI chip deal with Broadcom. So they secured a $10 billion deal. OpenAI is set to begin mass production of its first proprietary artificial intelligence chip next year through a partnership with Broadcom, ticker AVGO, marking a strategic shift away from its reliance on NVIDIA. amid surging demand for artificial intelligence computing power. Broadcom CEO Hock Tan confirmed during Thursday's earnings call that the semiconductor giant secured its fourth major customer, committing to $10 billion in orders. The Financial Times sources identified OpenAI as the new client. The deal delivered immediate and fair substantial demand, end quote, that will boost chip shipments pretty strongly starting next year. That's according to Tan. Broadcom shares jumped 4.58% to 306.10 in the aftermarket following the positive earnings report. OpenAI and Broadcom did not immediately respond to our request for comment. We will update you if we get that. OpenAI's custom chip initiative follows the playbook of tech giants, including Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta, which have developed specialized processes to handle AI workloads more efficiently than standard graphics processing units. The partnership began last year, but the timeline for mass production remains unclear until this week's announcement. OpenAI plans to use the chips internally rather than making them available to external customers. That's according to the Financial Times report again, addressing its massive compute requirements for ChatGPT's 700 million weekly users. The custom chip development signals a potential shift in the AI hardware landscape where NVIDIA has maintained dominance. According to Financial Times, HSBC analysts expect custom chip business to achieve higher growth rates than NVIDIA's GPU business by 2026. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman recently emphasized the company's compute priorities, starting plans to double its compute fleet over the next 5 months to meet increased demand for the upcoming GPT-5 model. The development comes as OpenAI reportedly moves forward with a $10.3 billion secondary share sale at a $500 billion valuation. Let's go back to Benzinga Pro here real quick. We'll take a look at the Broadcom chart, just like we discussed here with Lululemon. I'm especially curious to see how you folks are going to trade this one. I too have done kind of the same thing. I basically marked off, and I'll show you on the main trading workspace when the market actually opens. I'm basically looking to carve out another pre-market range here, and I want to see if the stock can confirm that range and then move away from that range. If it moves up, great, we'll be long. If it moves short, maybe we'll look for some puts on that, or we'll wait for a bottom to then go long. So I'd be curious to know how you folks are going to trade Broadcom. If you had Broadcom for earnings, congratulations, 12.7% here in the pre-market. The implied move on this was, where are you? Broadcom options imply a 4.8% move. So we've seen option sellers win a lot of these prints, option buyers cleaning up here on the Broadcom print. Okay, we also had more Broadcom news just to kind of dive into this a little bit more. Broadcom CEO Hock Tan is doubling down on Ethernet as the default interconnect for the AI era, saying the company's networking architecture is essential for training large language models at scale. During the company's third quarter earnings call on Thursday, Tan declared, quote, "The network is the computer," end quote, as he laid out the company's AI infrastructure roadmap spanning intra-rack scale-up, rack-to-rack scale-out, and data center to data center scale across. That's not easy to say. You try saying that. Tan emphasized the traditional architectures are struggling to keep up with evolving AI demands, noting that customers are facing challenges as they scale to clusters beyond 100,000 compute nodes. He then framed Broadcom's recently launched Ethernet solution, such as the Tomahawk 6 and the Jericho 4, as critical enablers of high bandwidth, low latency connectivity across massive AI clusters. He contrasted Broadcom's open Ethernet approach with proprietary protocols like NVLink and UA-Link, saying that there's, quote, "there's no need to go and create some cooked up protocols," end quote, emphasizing that its open approach was better than the closed ones pioneered by its competitors. Tan suggested that as more customers build their own AI accelerators, Ethernet will become increasingly dominant. Quote, "We are open to enabling Ethernet as a network protocol of choice with XPUs for sure. It's all Ethernet," end quote. We already talked about Broadcom's earnings. There was a nice healthy beat there. And we'll see what types of trades we can get rolling here today. All right, I've got 6 minutes. Thank you for the countdown there to the non-farm payrolls data. It looks like I've got 5 minutes here. It's also 5 minutes until Mark Putrino shows up. In that case, We'll take a look here at CRM. Mark Benioff says Salesforce beat Palantir on a U.S. Army contract. Quote, our prices are just so much lower, end quote. Speaking with Jim Cramer on CNBC's Mad Money following Salesforce's fiscal second quarter earnings, Benioff revealed that the company won a U.S. Army contract against Palantir. He credited Salesforce's competitive pricing for tipping the scales in its favor. Quote, we had a tremendous success against Palantir because, by the way, our prices are just so much lower, end quote. We're offering a very competitive product at a much lower cost. Benioff added that Salesforce's government business is already a multi-billion-dollar segment with the U.S. government ranking as its largest customer. He noted that while Salesforce works extensively with agencies such as the Department of Veterans Affairs and the General Services Administration, the Army contract marked a significant expansion. Salesforce reported second quarter revenue of $10.24 billion, which beat the analyst estimates of $10.14 billion. Revenue grew 10% year over year, while adjusted operating margins reached 34.3%. So maybe we should do a poll here, producer. Should we do a poll? What's better? What's the better product? How should we word this, producer? What's the better product? What would you rather have? What would traders rather have? Let me know what we should do. Go ahead and okay. So I think what we're going to do here is if you had to choose to invest in one now. Thank you. I don't know why this thing is messing with my head now. If you had to choose one to invest in now, which one would you choose? Let's run that poll. Please vote in our poll and let's see what kind of results we get from that. That would be interesting. Okay, let me check in here real quick. All right. All right, before we get to Mark here, we're still waiting for that print, right? We still got a couple of minutes. All right, before we get to Mark Putrino, I'm going to ask him about this, and I'm going to have him cover this, but just because this is a stock that our group talks about pretty often here, let's take a look here at ACHR. Shares of Archer Aviation are flat on Thursday, but they have been in a downtrend that may continue. Here's a look at the chart. I'm actually going to have him explain this. But it looks to me like, as you can see now, the 950 level has been very important for Archer. It was resistance in March and April. Then it became support in June and August. So my thing here is that this does kind of look like it's breaking down. And an ideal long side trade here would be a hold of that 550 on the downside. We'll see if we end up getting that here with Archer, ticker ACHR. And I'll have Mark kind of explain that just to see if there's anything else we should be looking for. Okay, let's see. What are you guys mentioning here? Ryan says Broadcom is a great company, but I'm not buying at this level. So are you looking for a pullback in Broadcom? You'll have to let me know. Dung, you're looking extremely cute this morning. Okay, thank you. It's not really helpful for the chat, but thank you, I suppose. Let's see, what else do we have here? Kramer has always pushed CRM. Indeed, he did. Indeed, he has. I don't know really what the future of CRM is. The poll that we're talking about here, my personal vote for that poll would be Palantir. But that's it. Let's see. Data may be delayed per the BLS. I think we're still getting that. Okay, Rob says, I agree. You're looking good. Okay. Thank you, producer, for banning the clown. Appreciate that. All right. Let's see. We're 2 minutes here to the data print. I'm going to bring on Mark Putrino real fast, and I will take a break and read you those numbers as soon as they come out. But let's say good morning to Mark. Mark, how you doing here today?
Hello, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing really, Mark. I mean, what kind of question is that, Mark? Football is back, dude. I'm about as happy as it gets. We had a great game.
Maybe I'm getting old, but I don't remember them halting games because of the weather. I mean, it is football.
So this is a new thing. It actually wasn't necessarily because of the weather. More specifically, it was because of lightning. And I guess these big stadiums that have a lot of metal that are open air actually produces a danger for the spectators and the players. So I guess I kind of get it. I know where you're coming from, though. Football is, you're supposed to play it in inclement weather. I don't think anyone should get electrocuted.
Well, I don't even know who won because I fell asleep before the game was over. So
Yeah, that was my opener this morning. I fell asleep during the lightning delay. The Eagles won 24-20, but it was a really good game. Okay,
yeah.
Mark, we are expecting the data print here right
Okay.
now. Actually, it looks like the market just responded to that. So if you don't mind, let me cover that here real quick. Oops, let's get rid of this. Non-farm payrolls for August, 22,000 versus the 75,000 estimate. Really light there. S&P futures here dropping precipitously, moving into the red now. They were down by 0.05%, although it looks like it's trying to bounce here at about flat. U.S. average hourly earnings month over month for August, 0.3 versus the 0.3 estimate. The U.S. unemployment rate for August, 4.3 versus the 4.3 estimate. So that is in line there. Again, market here reacting to the downside, although it's not very pronounced. NASDAQ still hanging on to green. Okay, Mark, you're welcome to comment on that if you want, but if you want to just jump into your stock of the day, which I started to break down here, you're welcome to do that too.
Well, I don't understand why people are so bearish.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the S&P is literally, basically at an all-time high. Financials look good. There was a little bit of profit taking in the tech stocks, but I talked to a lot of people, and so that's anecdotal, and there's all this bearishness out there. And I look at different sentiment surveys, which show that there's all this bearishness. Now, as long as people are bearish, there's money on the sidelines, and that money is going to flow eventually into the market, and I think it's going to keep moving higher. When people are very bullish, that's when it's time to sell. Because if the vast majority of investors are bullish, what do? They invest all of their funds. And when the market runs out of buyers, it can only go down. But it's really kind of weird, man. It's like the market's at an all-time high pretty much, and people are still so bearish. I don't get it, but I think that you know, nimble traders who understand psychology can benefit and profit in situations like this.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Zach here from our chat says, I think the market is a bit complacent.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's good. It's when people are exuberant, big market sell-offs or market crashes take people by surprise. They don't happen when everyone's expecting it. And historically, September is the worst month in
Mhm.
performance for the S&P 500. But a lot of that goes back 120 years, 130 years ago to the farming cycle. So I don't know. I think you got to just have a trading strategy or a style, and you just have to stick to it and follow your rules and forget about all this, kind of macro noise that's going on out there. The only thing that's right is the market. The commentators
Right.
can be wrong. I can be wrong. Ryan can be wrong. Anyone listening to me can be wrong, but the market's never wrong. So that's why we just got to watch what the market is telling us or listen to what the market is telling us and act accordingly.
Okay. I completely agree with you. One of the things that I've been trying to do is, first of all, the whole thing with September, August was supposed to be choppy, supposed to be kind of back and forth, and September was supposed to be poor. In August, we got that. I mean, I think for like the first 14 trading days or something like that of August, it was green one day, red the next day, green one day, red the next day. The end result was that it melted up slightly, but really nothing crazy. So it looked like we were on pace for that. September, however, we've started off with a bang. Now, maybe it's inflows, maybe it's a combination of things, but I'm still, like you were just talking about being nimble here, I'm still trying to have a plan for either direction. Right. If we start to move down, I'm going to be able to capture some gains. And if we break out, I'm going to play the hand that's dealt. I'm not just going to wait for what I think happens. I'm going to play the hand that the market deals me. Like you said, market is always right. So don't fight it.
Yeah. And there's a couple of the sectors, I mean, we can go through this, but a couple of the sectors are sitting on very well-defined support levels. So if those levels start to give way, it's going to be pretty obvious. And
Mhm.
that will mean the market's going into a downtrend, and then we can act accordingly. But, it's not happening yet.
All right.
But I
What
can,
do you got for us today?
I have, is my screen shared?
Yes, you
Okay,
are
cool.
on screen here, like Picard used to say.
All right, we could do the Captain Kirk regard debate later. But anyway, yeah. So the S&P, looks like we're going to be at an all-time high
Yep.
this morning. So this is what I was talking about, right? There's 11 sectors in the market, and different sectors are in the driver's seat at different times. And if you look at what these sectors are doing, it can give you insight into getting trading ideas. About a half of about a half of the performance of a stock comes from the sector. These stocks don't trade in isolation. So it's always good to pay attention to what the sector is doing. So I'm going to look at some of these sector ETF spiders. So this is the technology sector. Now, pretty clear support right around this 257 level, but we can see it held. So while everyone's freaking out and getting all upset or whatever about the news, I'm just watching what the market's doing, and it's like, wow. So we held 257, and this morning we're rallying. Right, we're all the way back up here, so that helped. So that's a very clear level to watch. In the financial sector, we have also a very clear level to watch. Now, this is a situation where in the markets, a lot of times the price level that had been resistance can convert into support. And you can see that right here. This is due to psychology. This is due to seller's remorse. People sell and the price goes down. And at first they're like, oh, wow, I made the right decision. This is easy. But when the price goes higher, a lot of these people who sold tell themselves, I made a mistake. If I can buy my shares back at the same price I sold them at, I'm going to. So when you get to retrace, if you have enough remorseful sellers placing buy orders, resistance can become support. So now we see up here, resistance has become support. And generally that sets the stage for the next move higher. So the financial sector looks pretty good to me. The healthcare sector also has a pretty clear level. Again, you can see resistance become support. So that's holding there. All right. So that looks pretty good. But that's a clear level to watch. So these are three clear levels to watch. And I mean, as of this morning, it looks like they're all going to hold and the market's going to go into another move higher. The industrial sector, this is held and this is kind of moving higher, but that's a clear level right there. Then we have communication services, which is going to be up because of the Google news this
Right.
week. But I mean, that's trading at an all-time high. Consumer discretionary is almost at an all-time high, but that looks pretty bullish there. Probably going to see a little bit of resistance up around here. A lot of times you get resistance at former resistance levels because people buy and then the price goes down and they're like, oh, I made a mistake. If it ever gets back to my level and I get out at break even, I will. So there might be some resistance there, but you can see here, resistance becomes support, resistance becomes support. So the markets are looking really good to me. I don't know why everyone's so bullish, but this is opportunity, and I just enjoy
Did
watching
you mean
my.
bearish?
What's that?
Did you mean bearish? You're not sure why everyone is so
Oh
bearish?
yeah, exactly. I'm not
Okay.
so sure why everyone is so bearish, but as long as people are bearish, the market I think is going to still keep going higher. So a lot of times, if you want to find trading ideas, you look at the sectors that are doing well, and we can go into the financial sector. I mean, there's just a lot of things to look at. Gold is, massively going higher. It's actually pretty incredible.
I was just going to ask you about that. And in fact, Lion Atlas is saying, ask Mark to take a look at Wheaton Precious Metals, ticker WPM, and Newmont Mining, ticker NEM. So if you want to take a look at that, maybe we should just start there.
Okay. All right. So this is Wheaton Precious Metals, obviously all-time high. I mean, I think gold is a little bit overbought now, but it had a pretty amazing breakout. And this is going to be trading at an all-time high this morning. So, I mean, if you're long this, I think you just stay in it. I see no really compelling reason at this point to sell it. Maybe it's a little bit overbought, but if we look at gold, pretty interesting that gold had this classic ascending triangle pattern, which
Yep.
is something that we always
Yep.
talk about. I don't really pay attention to too many patterns, but I think ascending and descending triangles tend to be pretty reliable, and they're easy to understand. So you have this horizontal resistance line. So what this is indicative of is that the people that are the sellers are just kind of hanging out, and the sellers are like, all right, well, if the buyers come to me, I'll sell. If not, I don't really care. Over the same time frame, the buyers are getting increasingly aggressive. They're willing to enter the market at higher prices. So you get this series of higher lows. So the ascending triangle is a graphical illustration of complacent sellers and aggressive buyers. And that sets the stage for a move higher. And sure enough, that's what happened. We broke out.
Yeah.
So I think gold, maybe maybe it was a little bit overextended, but we've kind of gone sideways now for 3 days. So that takes the overboughtness out of it. Like being overbought's like a rubber band, something gets
You're right.
stretched out. And if you go sideways for a couple of days, it makes it unstretched or unoverbought, if that's even a word. But yeah, I think that the gold stocks look good. The gold miners look really good.
So let me ask you. We were just talking about you don't understand why everyone is so bearish here. Could it be the move in gold? The move in gold has been telling us that the market is worried about this ever increasing debt or whatever the case is. Does that make sense to you? Does that track there, or are you just doesn't really matter? Move in gold doesn't really matter.
I think a lot of the bearishness has to do with the media and this this story about how like these tariffs are so evil
Yeah.
and they're gonna destroy civilization and so forth. So I think that's part of it. Um, let's think about the market. Let's think about history. Okay, so 2008, 2009, or whatever it was. Oh, things were really bad. The housing crisis was really bad. I mean, I used to trade with Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns. These firms were around for 100 years and they went out of business. Then you had the COVID crash where it's like, all right, civilization's coming to an end, right? I mean, I remember them showing pictures of refrigerator trucks outside of the morgue in New York City. These were scary times. April was like, oh, evil tariffs, right? And people can say whatever they want. The rebound from the bottom of April to 2 or 3 months later was the fastest rebound in the history of the S&P 500, going back to the 1870s. So this is one of the reasons why I tell people don't listen to, other than Benzinga, don't listen to the news. Just watch what the market is telling us. So anyway, yeah, I think this is the gold miners ETF. I think WPC looks good. I think gold looks good. And wheat and precious metals, WPM.
Yeah, WPM.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's still a little too early for me here. Yeah, so that looks pretty good, man. I mean, all right, let's talk about a couple other things. Nvidia. Now, a lot of people were asking me about like, oh, gee, why did Nvidia go down even though the earnings were so good? Now, I know hindsight is 2020, but this is something that I don't know if we had talked about this last week or the week before, but notice this really aggressive buying right before the news came out. So this is where the news comes out on their earnings, which were good. So what this kind of tells me is that everyone who wanted to buy Nvidia did so before the earnings came out. So when the earnings actually hit the tape, there's no one left to buy. The market has effectively run out of buyers. And at that point, the only way it can go is down. But we'll see that we held this 167 level. I guess it's down this morning for some reason. Not quite sure why. But we sell off. Look at where the bottom was, right at the former bottom. So, Nvidia held support. I think I think this is probably a buying opportunity for Nvidia because we're right at this potential support level here.
What you have that like 167? What support level do you have in there? I'm just looking at the chart too. I'm trying to discern.
Like 167.
Yeah, that's what I see too here on the chart. Okay, awesome.
The close from here, you can see there was the bottom over there. But as long as Nvidia is above 167, I think it's fine.
So real quick here, just to kind of tie this together, the reason that Nvidia is down, I guess at least I think so here, is that Broadcom announces that they're going to try and make their own AI chip to rely less on Nvidia. Here we go. OpenAI is set to begin mass production of its first proprietary artificial intelligence chip next year through a partnership with Broadcom, marking a strategic shift away from its reliance on NVIDIA. So I think you're getting a knee-jerk reaction to that piece of news that came from Broadcom's earnings last night. And actually, that was on the conference call.
Oh, okay. All right. So, but regardless, I think as long as it holds 167, it's going to be fine. Microsoft has also pretty well-defined level here to watch around 500. So we're kind of rallying off of that. And then Apple is the other big player, right? Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA are about 20% of the market.
Yep.
And Apple looks pretty good too. I mean, there's probably going to be some resistance up around here. But, we made this jump the other day on the Google news, and it's held.
Yeah, I actually traded that jump too. That was awesome. All out Apple after that, but that was a really good swing there.
And then Google too. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought Google was going to reverse, but it didn't. So you might notice this blue line here, which is yesterday's low and the prior day's open. So I have a couple students that have asked me about Google, whether they should sell it or not. They've owned it for a long time.
Sure.
And my kind of thought on it is, just hold on to it. If it breaks back below this resistance here, then you sell it. But if not, you kind of just hold on to it. And yesterday's action ended up being pretty positive. That's the concept of what we call a sell stop. If you have a profit on something, you kind of just let it run, but then you have a kind of a reversal strategy. A lot of people do it by percentages. Like, all right, if I own XYZ, I have a profit, I'm just going to let it run. If it reverses by, say, 5%, I'm going to sell it. Or if it reverses and gets back below this price level, I'm going to sell it. So the idea with the sell stop is that you protect your profits. And a lot of people lose money in the market because they don't think about how to get out of something. Everyone loves to talk about what stock they just bought. Buying is easy because when you buy something, it's like you got a new friend. You got something to pay attention to. It's exciting. But you shouldn't get into a stock unless you know how you are going to get out of it. You need a plan for, okay, here's where I take a profit. Here's where I admit I'm wrong and I take a loss. So very important. And people don't talk about it. I mean, when was the last time you heard someone talk about how they're going to sell something? But everyone's like, oh, I just bought this, I just bought that.
It never happens. And in fact, Mark, I have to ask people here on the show all the time when they're talking about a stock that they really like, what's your exit plan, right? What's the plan here to add? It's great to have a whole bunch of unrealized gains, but they're just that. They're unrealized gains. And at some point, you actually want that money. Let me ask you another quick question here. We kind of talked about this yesterday with Eddie Glinsky, the managing director of alternative investments at Direction. What do you think about when you've got a position like Google that you've owned for a long time, you're up really big on it, you're not really sure if you want to sell? How do you think about hedging that? If you think, like, for example, in your hypothetical example, if Google's price breaks down from that top line that you have there, instead of selling it, what about hedging it with an inverse ETF?
That is possible. You can do that, but you would probably tie up you would tie up a lot less capital if you bought a put on it. So this is a strategy we call a protective put or a married put. So a lot of times people don't want to sell something because they don't, generally because of taxes. They don't want to take have the big tax bill.
I mean, Mark, if you bought 5,000 shares of Palantir at $7 and you have those same 5,000 shares at $150, that is a substantial capital gains tax that you're going to have to deal with if you end up selling it. So that's kind of why we're speculating that because ETFs have proliferated so much, that we're actually seeing less selling of the underlying asset and more buying and selling of some of these ETFs.
Yeah. And like, just say you have a big position in Palantir and you don't want to sell, you can buy puts on it, which are options that if the value of the stock goes down, the value of the put will go up. Now, in the investment world, let's just say that let's say you're a money manager and you're managing $3 billion and you have 50 stocks and you think the market's just going to completely fall apart. Well, it doesn't make sense to sell all of those stocks. You're going to have huge commissions. You might have a mandate that you can't have that much cash and so forth. So what do? They buy puts as an insurance policy. And the more people are willing, the more freaked out people are, the more willing they are to pay premiums to get into puts. And that's actually what the VIX measures. People talk about the VIX, but a lot of people don't really understand it. The VIX is really an indication of the price of insurance. And if things are blowing up, people are willing to pay a lot of money for the price of insurance. So the idea with the protective put, or the married put was another name for the strategy, is if your stock goes down, the value of the put will go up, and it's like a hedge. And then when your stock starts going back up, you sell the put. And so that's a way that you can hedge yourself. Now you can buy inverse ETFs too. You tie up a little bit more capital, but XIII is amazing. I mean, they have so many inverse ETFs, leverage ETFs, and it seems like every time I look at their list, there's like a new one on here. So these guys are pretty amazing, you know.
Yeah, they really are, and we heard directly from Ed yesterday what they look at the flows, right? They were saying that they continue to see flows out of bullish ETFs and increased flows into bearish ETFs. So it does look like, as the market's moving to all-time highs, and some of these stocks like Apple, Google, Meta are moving to all-time highs, investors are in fact flowing into some of the down levered ETFs. But you make a really good point there about tying up capital. You obviously use far less if you're buying option contracts.
Yeah. So this is kind of an interesting thing, going back to gold here. So year to date, approximately, gold is up. Let's just say, I don't know, about 35%. The gold miners ETF, this is
it's up much less, I believe, and it's probably
no, it's actually up a lot more.
Is it more?
Yeah, so this is the gold miners ETF, and this is up about 90%.
Okay, so it's the other way around. So gold playing catch up to some of the miners there.
Now, if we look at the XIII leveraged gold miners ETF, XIII, this year to date is up about, look at that, about 225% or 220%. So part of being a trader is understanding how to get the best bang for your buck. Like, what's the most efficient use of your capital? So if at the beginning of the year you thought, oh, gee, I'm going to buy gold, that was great. Had you bought the gold miners ETF, this leverage one, obviously you would have much better returns. So there are a lot of different ways to position yourself around an idea. And if you have an idea and turns out to be right, you should think about things like, what's the best bang for my buck? Like, if we go back to these XIII ETFs, they have all these single stock ETFs right now. So let's just say you want to buy Broadcom. Well, this ETF that they have, a single stock ETF, is designed to go up by twice as much as Broadcom goes up. Of course, if it goes down, you're going to lose money twice as fast. But if you're right and it goes up, if Broadcom's up 3%, this will be up about 6%.
Yeah.
If you think Broadcom is going to go down, you could just buy this inverse ETF, which will go in the opposite direction by about the same amount. So if Broadcom is down 2%, this will be up by roughly 2%. So they have Boeing, Berkshire Hathaway, Cisco. Every time I look at their list, they have a couple new ones on here.
Yeah, they're constantly adding them. They are constantly adding them. And then we had talked recently that for the first time ever, there's more ETFs available than stocks.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really incredible.
Yeah. Can we do some ticker time here?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start with Rocket, because that's actually rocketing here in the pre-market. This looks like on the back of that unemployment report that we got. What's interesting about this is that I had reported to you as soon as that came out that the S&P 500 was dipping. It has reversed hard. S&P futures now up 0.36%, NASDAQ up nearly a full percent, and the Dow is going red, green right now, literally unchanged. That was weak all morning. So market moving higher here. Bad news for the bears. Let's take a look at Rocket because this is actually above $20, up 5% here in the pre-market. So
I think it's important to watch this. A lot of times stocks run into resistance at former resistance levels. So where was this peak? Right around 2010. And that's exactly where we are now. So I think right now I wouldn't, if I owned Rocket, I would be kind of just careful. It's either going to break out or it's going to reverse. A lot of people, my friends, like make fun of me, like, oh, you traders, like, oh, it might go up, it might go down. And it's like, well, yeah, getting
that's
to
how
an
it works.
right? Getting to an important price level is like you get to a fork in the road or a fork in the trail. They tend not to stay there for too long. I mean, look at this, right? So this level became resistance. It was there for literally one day. Okay. So the odds are much greater that this, that breaks out and moves higher or reverses than it hangs out right there.
Right.
But I think it's just important to understand that we are trading at a former peak. So if we get above that, we can call that that's what's called a breakout. When you get above resistance, you can infer, well, it's considered bullish because you can infer that the people who created the resistance with their sell orders, the investors or traders or whoever, are out of the market. They've either canceled their orders or they finished their orders. So in any market, if you take a large amount of supply out of it, meaning sellers, when new buyers come in, they're going to have a hard time finding sellers, and they're going to have to jack the price up to draw sellers in off of the sidelines. So that's why when you break resistance, you tend to get things. You can actually see it right here. You get these kind of fast moves higher.
Yeah. All right, $20, clearly 2010, whatever it is there, that's going to be your key level for today here on Rocket. Full disclosure here, Mark, I'm actually already long Rocket. I had March leaps that I've actually already sold. I bought it when the stock was $12.50, so I'm up several 100% on these. So I'm doing my best to allow my winners to run in this case, and I would love to see a pop and maybe a squeeze above 20 here. Remember, Rocket, significant short interest as well.
The biggest problem or the biggest issue traders have is they hold on to their losers for too long. Yep. And they sell their winners too soon.
Bingo.
Not easy to do, but if you have a price target, you got to kind of just hold on until it gets there. Because if someone buys something at 10 and they say, all right, well, if it gets to 15, I'm going to sell it. Well, like say you're paper trading or just kind of doing it mentally, that's kind of easy. But in real life, if you buy something at 10, say you put in 10 grand and you buy 1,000 shares at 10 and it goes to 12, you're like, wow, that's $2,000. That's a lot of money. I'm up 20%. I know my target was 15, but I'm just going to sell right here. And then it goes to 15. And guess what? You left 3 points on the table because you were afraid of losing your profit. So that's a situation where you might think about using a sell stop, right? Okay, I bought it at 10. Now it's at 12. If it gets to 11, I'm going to sell it. Now the stock goes to 13. You say, okay, if it gets to 12, I'm going to sell it. Now the stock goes to 14. You say, okay, if it gets to 13, I'm going to sell it. So that's a way you can protect yourself. It's called using a sell stop, which is a pretty effective strategy that a lot of people don't even know about.
Can we do one more chart for you?
Indeed, we can.
Let's take a look at Lululemon. That's, of course, reported earnings last night, getting pounded, down 20% here today. And I think the big thing that the group is looking for here is where might there be a support level for a new long here on Lulu. So let's take a look. And let's see if we can't come up with something.
So it's at 164. I assume we're really oversold. Well, I don't see any obvious support, but this would be a situation where you don't just buy it because it's at the bottom. You think it's down a lot. You kind of need to wait for it to start going higher.
I'm so glad you said that, Mark, because earlier my takeaway from this is, guys, let's not catch the falling knife. Let's wait for it to confirm a bottom and start moving higher. And the first thing that you said was to do that. That's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, well, one of the things I've learned over the years about trading is that I think one of the reasons why people don't have success is because they're too focused on being perfect. I'm going to get the bottom. I'm going to get the top. All right. You have to be in the mindset that your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to increase the value of your account every day. I mean, this might not sound like a lot, but if you can increase the value of your account 1% a week, annualized, that's 67%. You've almost doubled your money. Warren Buffett, considered the greatest investor of our generation, what are his returns annually? Like 20, 25%. So he's dealing with billions and billions of dollars. I don't think it's unrealistic at all for a retail trader who understands the stuff we're talking about, the levels and the risk management, to gain 1% a week. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
Yeah,
So
no, it definitely is. And that adds up. That's the thing. Over time, that adds up.
Yeah. So if you focus on your job is to increase the value of your account. Your job is not to be perfect. It's like, oh, gee, let me use a golf analogy. We didn't see this one coming. It's like your job is just to, try to get a good score. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Or get a hole in one on every hole.
Indeed. I've never had a hole in one. I've come close. I've come close 3 times. One was an anomaly. I sculled the ball and it hit a rock and it hit a tree and then it rolled out and it hit the pin and then it ended up a few feet away.
Did you make the putt?
Come on, man.
Yeah, you did.
You know the answer to that. So then another time I was playing, and I was going to hit my 8-iron, and the caddy's like, "No, hit your 7-iron." So I hit my 7-iron, and we go up to the hole. You can see my ball mark, which is about 2 feet away from the flag, and the ball was about 2 feet beyond it. So I was that close to a hole in one.
And
I
that caddy,
too.
Mark, when that caddy saw that ball in the air, he's thinking, "Oh yes, this guy's gonna get a hole in one on my recommendation. The tip is gonna be flowing. Maybe he'll give me some stock. I don't know." And then,
the amazing thing about it too is I'm a big George Washington fan, and this is at a place called Quaker Ridge, which is over here in Mamaroneck. And the Battle of White Plains was this Revolutionary War battle. Mm-hmm. And on the hole where I almost got this hole in one, there's this huge old petrified tree, which the legend is that George Washington camped there during the Battle of White Plains. So this particular club, Quaker Ridge, their mascot is George Washington. So it would have been pretty amazing. But anyway, one of these days, man, if I get that hole in one, that's probably when I'll retire from golf.
I don't think I'll ever retire. Mark, really good stuff here. Really appreciate it. Always enjoy the content. Is there anything that you wanted to mention on Archer before you? I know that was your stock of the day article. I'm going to share it with the group here, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is Archer. I think you just kind of got to be careful with this one because it just, it broke this support. So here's an example where what was resistance converted into support. So again, that's that seller's remorse. People sell and the price goes higher and they say, gee, if it ever gets back to my level, I'm going to buy my shares back. When the support breaks, it's the opposite of a breakout. You can infer that the buyers or the traders and investors who created the support with their buy orders have either finished or canceled their orders. So they're out of the way. So I think that the stock is probably going to continue to go lower. So, breaking support tends to be a bearish thing, and this is pretty clearly broken here.
It looks like we're kind of waiting for 550 on that pullback then.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I think it could get there. It's a volatile stock. I mean, this thing has gone from 13.5 to 845 in 2 months. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that it gets down to 550.
Yeah, no question. All right, Mark, really good stuff. As always, cannot thank you enough. If you do play some golf this weekend, enjoy it. But perhaps more importantly, enjoy that football. We'll catch you next week, all right?
Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.
All right, That is Mark Putrino. Really good stuff from him as always. And I'm clicking on the wrong things. Thank you, producer. All right, we await 13. Perry, we already took a look at Broadcom. Got to wake up early if you want to hear those top news stories. No question about that. I'm sure we'll be taking a look at Broadcom as the market opens up here. We are waiting for a trade on that, but we definitely already covered that here today. All right, 13. How excited are you that it's back?
Oh, I'm so happy that it's back. I mean, even if we have to deal with some delays, I'm glad that it's back.
Okay, full disclosure here. I fell asleep during the delay. I'm taking Benadryl to try and fight off the bee sting. I fell asleep, so I didn't catch the end. But the good news, I noticed that I saw all of the scoring because there was no more scoring after the delay there. So
okay. Yeah, you pretty much got the good bulk of the game in before the delay. So that was great.
And didn't the under hit? I'm pretty sure they scored 44 points. I think the over under was 46.5.
Oh, so I don't know. You tell me. I wasn't.
I'm trying to go from memory. All I know is I took the Cowboys and the points. Spread was 8.5. That was a winner. Good deal. All right, 13.
Good morning, everybody in the chat.
Good. Look, my obsession with football has no bounds, and y'all should know that already here. Let's go ahead and dive into some of these movers here. The first one that I've got on the list is PRSO. This is Peraso. Stock is up 79% here today. Actually, let's see if we've got news on this. Mobix Labs sweetens offer to acquire Peraso with cash and stock deal, delivering value now and growth ahead. So this is one of those things where the deal's not done, deal's not agreed to, looks to be like there's still some maybe shopping around with potential other buyers, or maybe the company doesn't want to sell yet. So it looks like MOBX sweetening the deal here. That's causing this stock to pop. Now, this was a penny stock yesterday, and it's $1.52 now. So take a quick look around the horn on the short interest. It's negligible on this one. 0.98% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. It comes on an average volume of 245,000 shares. Today, we've traded 82 million. Float is 6 million. What do you think here, 13?
Yeah, so Mobix Labs, MOBX, they want this company and they want them bad. Actually, it's interesting because PRSO looks like this is the better looking company, the more the one that has a better balance sheet. But they're not taking this offer yet. But now MOBX, as you had pointed out, they are throwing some money at them. So of course, with that the initial bid already on the table, this just increases the value immediately of PRSO because of the cash component. So now here we are trying to get through 160 on this chart here. It seems like that's the current resistance area, and we might drift a little bit lower, but we do have VWAP holding this up for now. So 160 going to definitely be the spot. I want to see this move over and start closing over for continued upside. But aside from that, I looked at both companies. Looks just like I said, PRSO looks like the better one. I don't have much beyond that except levels. I mean, once this company gets taken over, this could also be another flyer. So also something to keep on your radar in case that moves again on that news.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff there with PRSO. We'll see if this gives us any trade here. I've got VWAP at 141, so maybe a pullback to that VWAP and a hold sets up a potential upside move towards the pre-market high of 167. We'll see if we get that. Okay. Next on the list here is This is Hour Loop. This had news yesterday. Looks like it's a continuation of that. I didn't see anything new today. Looks like we did elect directors and ratify its auditors. That was news that we got after hours there. They had a corporate statement after hours here. Stock is up nearly 60%. But as a reminder, on Tuesday morning, Hour Loop reported earnings here, and it was a beat. Definitely a positive earnings here. That sent the stock moving. Looks like we're getting a little continuation of that here today. We take a look at the short interest on this name, 0.14% with 1.9 days to cover. There is no short interest here. Stock on average trades just shy of 300,000 shares, but today we've traded 35 million just about. As a reminder, the float is also 35 million. So 13, do you see a trade here in Hour? HOUR.
Yeah, so this is looking, the company aside, I think you pretty much covered more than enough because it does have revenue. It is profitable. 35 million shares in the float. It looks like it's a pretty good company. With as far as the trading is going this morning, we did go up to slightly higher than this 350 resistance area. Looks like we print a high of 372. We're coming back beneath the VWAP right now, trying to recapture that. And if we cannot do that, I would be looking at the 65 EMA for support again. And we might not get that this time around if we don't get a recapture of that VWAP. So a little concerned about this going lower. We'll see what we end up getting out of the open, but something to watch for as we approach it. We got about 21 minutes left, so it could move over VWAP in this time frame and start trading better. But just something to watch for now. If we do manage to get above 350, we have some resistance at 4, and then it doesn't look like we have a whole lot after that, except for when we this company IPO'd. Looks like. Hold on a second. Let me just pull my chart up here. It looks like it's not too old of a company. 2022 January is when it looks like it IPO'd. So that and when it did, it went all the way up to over $10. Hasn't been up there since. So some of those levels from back then. No, hold on a second. I think I might have got a little bit of a discrepancy here between my chart and my Benzinga Pro chart.
That's
okay. There. Nope, that's there. So looks like 5 would be after that. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking far left enough. $5 after this this $4 level. That was resistance frequently back in 2022. But beyond that, 6, and then you have the IPO that took it up to 1033.
Okay, we'll see if we get a trade here on our next on the list. And actually, they've changed places here, but that's okay. Yeah. Ticker V. That's VEEE to be clear. Victor Echo Echo Echo.
Sound like you had a question mark at the end of that.
No, that wasn't my intention. Victor Echo 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 is your ticker here. This is Twin V Power Cats. Actually makes me think of the old Thundercats. Yeah, I can't help it. I'm just.
I bet this thing goes
I was waiting for a way to fit that in, and you just did a much better job at it. Okay, stock was about $2 yesterday. We popped as high as what, 330 and change here today. We take a look at the news here. They are launching Whiz Banger Value App, the Carfax for boats. So really, this will the whole thing here is that if this actually does turn into an industry standard, like Carfax seems to have done, perhaps we'll have something here. Twin V subsidiary Whiz Banger launches Whiz Banger Value App. I got to be honest with you, some of these names are silly. AI-powered valuations for buyers, sellers, dealers, and lenders. Quick look around the horn here on this one. 2.55% of the float shorted. That comes with a 1 day to cover, and that comes on just shy of 400,000 shares of average daily volume. Today, we've traded just over 39 million floats, 2 million. What do you see in this chart, 13?
Well, I do know of Carfax, and that's pretty successful. So if this is going to be the Carfax for boats, maybe there's something great here at play. But they just had earnings last month, almost exactly a month ago. Still losing money, but they're not losing it as quickly as they used to. They reported adjusted EPS for their second quarter of a 56-cent loss, up from a $3.10 loss year over year. So that's an improvement. So maybe this app does help pull them into profitability. They do have a few quarters of cash, so it doesn't look like they need to do any capital raises today, but at some point in the future, they just might. 2 million shares in the float is what I had for this. This is trying to get back above some of the resistance that was being put in last year when it was support. That's going to be at about 315, where we just moved above. So if you look at, I don't know if you can look at a larger time frame chart like a daily. Sure. We've come up to this resistance area back from 2024, like the fourth quarter, and that's where all the resistance is going to be in this 315 to 3, maybe even as high as 340. But once we get past that, then we're going to be in the real thick of the consolidation. So not sure how much of a trade we're going to be able to get through with that. Maybe it absolutely chews through all the sellers really quick, being that it has a very low float. Maybe we get some stiff rejection. I'm not sure yet, but we do have 340 as a level we need to clear. And once we do that, we're going to be in some pretty dense consolidation. So not sure what's going to happen after that.
Okay, good stuff there. Ticker VEEE, just to be clear. All right, next one on the list here is going to be ISPC. This is iSpecimen. iSpecimen shares are trading higher after the company announced its $200 million Solana-based digital asset strategy. Let's go ahead and pop that into the Sol Treasury. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. This was a penny stock yesterday, just under 70 cents. We did pop as high as 140 here today. We're actually holding on to $1 and we're beneath the VWAP. So we'll see if we're actually able to take that out here today. Quick look around the horn on this one. 3.2% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. That comes on an average volume of 921,000. Today we've traded 30.2 million, floats 8.2 million. What do you think on ISPC? I feel like we've traded this one before here.
I'm not sure if we had or not, because now all these crypto treasury companies are starting to blur together. So you might be right. We may have traded this one, but I don't remember when it was. I don't have levels from a previous trade on this one. Let me look further. Yep, don't. And hey, lucky for this stock on this news. Now we're trading over $1 again, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Once we do fall underneath $1, it becomes a different animal. So I think if we lose $1 here, I'm not sure I'm going to really want to be on this one today. It is trying to get back above VWAP. If it cannot do that, it seems like underneath $1 is where we're headed. There is some support down around 95 cents and 92 cents. But beneath that, it's probably going to be a reset to back down to 65 cents if we can't get some support here. It's not a great looking chart right now.
No, it isn't.
So I'm not sure we're going to want to be on this one. But hey, if they find support in the regular session, we'll see if it sets up for a trade. But for now, it doesn't look great to me.
Okay. Do you have anything else on the list that you want to cover here?
No, we can go to some of the larger names or we reported earnings yesterday. We can do all that.
Yeah, I covered Broadcom and Lulu. We are going to be looking for trades there. INHD, this is one that's on the list here for relative volume. This had a huge move after our show was over yesterday. Hopefully somebody hit this one. ZNB was another one that we were talking about yesterday. This had a really precipitous fall. I hope nobody got hurt on this one. I wasn't trading this yesterday, thankfully. We're curling a little bit here today, but I would just advise caution on this. Yeah.
Did you draw a trend line for NHD yet?
INHD?
Mm-hmm. Did you draw a trend line yet?
I did not, but you know what? That one stands out like a sore thumb.
Oh, yeah. Too easy. So that might be something we're going to want to pay attention to if we're trading INHD today. Nice to see that this is still holding above the 65 EMA since it captured it back at 705, 710. Need to continue holding up here and push through this trend line. That's really the one of the last things I see here. I mean, there is some resistance at around 960, but I think just getting through that, pushing through this trend line, we're going to have a pretty good day with this one. Okay.
Really good stuff there. Big Bear Hug saying, Benzinga, curious why BNTX is not on the movers scanner. Can you share the settings? Okay, well, first of all, I share the settings every single day. This blue area on movers has all of the settings that I have applied. So I am always sharing those. Now, as for the first part of your question, BNTX, let's take a look at that. This is probably a volume issue. So here we go. This is actually, no, this looks like this is supposed to be up 9.4%. We'll wait for this to update. We'll wait for movers to update here because it updates once per minute. And this probably was, oh, no, this is still, excuse me, I was looking at the average volume. I have a minimum volume filter of 600,000 shares traded. BNTX has only traded 181,000 today. So this is why it's not showing up on the movers, but because there's news here, let's cover it.
Well, it is showing up on my movers, and I don't have any special, settings or anything. So
well, that's what I mean. It will be on the movers. The reason it's not is because I've applied a filter here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so BNTX here. BioNTech shares are trading higher after the company announced the pivotal phase 3 trial, which Duality Bio is conducting in China to evaluate some drug that I'm not going to butcher versus another drug that I'm not going to butcher in patients with HER2 positive, unreselectable, or metastatic breast cancer who have previously received some weird drug's name, and chemotherapy met its primary endpoint. So this is positive data on a breast cancer treatment. That makes complete sense why the stock is rocketing here. BNTX, good Lord, this thing moved from 104 to 117.5. It's come back and done a pretty good job holding above its VWAP here. Let's see, is there short interest on this name? 6.84% of the float shorted here with 8.92 days to cover. Actually, that could be significant. 92 million shares in the float. On average, it trades about 750,000 shares a day. We'll see what it does here today. What do you think here on BNTX?
I would have to. I think I'd have to read more into this one. I know we've traded this before, but I would have to start with the website and see, what their pipeline's like, and all that. So, oh, whoops, sorry. This is a German company. I forgot, so I got to switch over to English. Yeah, is this the only thing they've got going on? No, it's not. There's quite a bit of this. So I don't know that this is. I don't know if this is one of their big things that they're working on or not. It seems like they've got a ton of stuff that they're working on. I really don't have an opinion on this. I would have to actually spend some more time.
Okay.
To give you.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't want to force you in anything. Just the chat was asking about it. We got to the bottom of that. You guys are asking about Neon. Let's take a look here at Neon. Neon had a really awesome bounce here. All That Glitter says, Ryan, you were right yesterday about Neon. That was worth looking at. 80% down in the pre-market. Shame on 13 for brushing you off, although he's joking about that. Thank you for bringing it to light. Owe you a drink. Nobody owes me anything, but if you want to buy me a drink, I am not going to decline that by any means. You wouldn't be the first or the last. The reality here with Neon, though, this huge move down to about 376, this thing bounced over 100% from those lows intraday. It's held that. The only thing that I was bringing this up for yesterday is that we saw such a precipitous decline. We see this all the time in a bunch of different kinds of stocks. I mean, hell, we see this on stocks that declare bankruptcy, sell off, and then bounce. In some cases, go higher after the bankruptcy print. So figured that there would probably be a bounce there. Also figured that the tell, if it was going to be the bounce, was the volume. And look what happened. Soon as that volume really ramped and expanded, you actually did get a pretty good move here. That being said, I don't know if we're going to get that here today. So if you're looking for maybe a repeat trade on Neon, again, one of the big things I would pay attention to here is the volume. No indication that we're going to get that here today. In fact, let's see if there's any news. The stock's down 4.2% in the pre-market here. No fresh news. Yesterday, we got Ladenburg Thalmann downgrading this to neutral, lowering the price target to 6. That's about where the price is here today. So 13, I don't know, maybe you have something on this, maybe you don't.
I think the reason I didn't like this yesterday is because it won the Samsung settlement and it still went down. And I think as I recall, we were looking at this and we're like, well, why is it going down on a settlement? Is that not enough, or is that far less than they were expecting? And I don't think we spent enough time looking at this, so I just kind of brushed it off, and that's why I did what I did.
Yeah, he was
fine. It's fine, but I think that I want to kind of just put the reason why I mentally shut this one off is because it was down 76, and on news that normally I would think would send it up, and we didn't have enough time to get into it. So yeah, I just when it's like something like that where I don't know enough about it and I'm not sure what it's going to do, well, I'm just not going to try. Yeah, I'm just not going to try and take a stab at it. So that's my fault.
Yep, totally fine. To be full disclosure here, I talked about this trade, but I actually traded other things yesterday. I was just on CRM all day. So I actually didn't even look at this or INHD, which ended up ripping. But that's okay because I actually had my focus elsewhere. All right. Any other stocks that you want to take a look at, 13, or anyone else out there? I mean, we got asked about Broadcom. I'd covered it earlier. I guess we can go back to that if you'd like. Here, in fact, you know what I'm going to do, 13? Yeah, let me go to the bigger chart here. We'll bring up Broadcom, and I'll turn it over to you because I gave my opinion on this already.
Oh, okay. So I'm starting now.
Okay. So real quick, sorry. While you're going through that, couple of things here. Number one, please be advised. Please be advised. Broadcom now setting up for another potential floating island trade. We're going to wait today out. Also, we'll see what happens on Monday, but we want to see what this candle does here today. So I have no position now, and I'm not necessarily in a rush. Maybe I scalp this in the early morning here. But in order to determine if this is actually going to be a floating island, we probably need complete candle data from today and also on Monday. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for here on this one. And then really quickly here on Ondas, I know several of you folks asked about this. I threw it in the chat earlier. There is news on Ondas here today. We can cover that real quick. You can see Ondas is actually up about 4% here. Be careful with this news, though. Ondas Holdings to participate in September 2025 Investor Conference. Now, if we take a look at that, the dates of that are September 8th through 10th. So if I look at the schedule for next week, that is Monday through Wednesday of next week. And then September 11th at another one. So that is Thursday of next week. So Monday through Thursday, they will be presenting at conferences. The response to the piece of news here today is, I think, just kind of like, they're anticipating something bullish. So don't be fooled on this. You might get more clarity or more actionable news when they actually present at those conferences. Full disclosure, I will, of course, be hoping for some good news out of here. I would love to see some more move to the upside. I think it was, who was it yesterday? Zach, were you talking about wanting this to pull back a little bit? Look at the formation that this thing is making. It did pull back, didn't even get to the 20, and it already looks like it's starting to move back to the highs. So just know that they're presenting at some conferences next week. Next week, we might have some more news flow. I'm not sure what you're going to get out of it today. All right, 13, you want to go back to Broadcom here? Give us your thoughts.
Well, this is one that I was, picking up very early this year before we had the April tariff, or whatever that event was. When we had April, this is a huge run, and I've thought for a while that this and other chip companies are going to start to eat at NVIDIA's lunch. And it looks like this is really starting to do that. Not so much that they're going to start taking NVIDIA's business, but that they're going to not need NVIDIA's business.
Yeah, they said that. Mm-hmm. They literally said that here, that they're trying to make their own chip. Yeah.
And other companies are going to follow suit too. And we're going to get AMD. Google is working on their own chips. So is Microsoft. Lots of companies are going to start working on their own chips to reduce costs. Some other companies that are looking for lower cost chips that don't necessarily need to have the best in breed will be going to those too. So you're going to see, I think you're going to start to see NVIDIA's market share get chipped away at by companies like Broadcom. Maybe one that we need to pay attention to, and I know that they're not doing really well right now, is Global Foundries, because that's another chip maker in the U.S. Then of course you have Intel. We already know what's going on with them, but I feel like as Intel, I'm sorry, not Intel, as NVIDIA starts to lose a little bit of market share, you're going to start to see some of the market share go to companies like these.
Okay. Real quickly here, our poll results. If you had to choose one to invest in now, which would you choose, Palantir or CRM? The results are in. Palantir winning that with 59%, CRM completing it with 41%. So there you go. Palantir still the leader, at least according to our chat audience, and I would agree with the chat audience, or I would agree with the majority.
Tough poll for me, because it's to me it's saying, would you rather own tech or would you rather own tech?
Yes.
It's almost like, well, I don't know. Tech's looking a little rough right now. So anyway.
With SSM, I don't have a ticker for SSM. SSM. No ticker, buddy. No idea what you're talking about. Okay. All right. We've got 3 minutes here. What else do you got, 13?
Well, you want to talk about the game?
No, 13, please weigh in on Fig.
Okay. Didn't they just have earnings?
Yes, they did, and it was terrible. And this chart, you guys might recognize this chart because it looks an awful lot like Voyager, VOYG, and that thing just continued to get pounded into the ground. Fig here, big gap down. Let me go back to the chart here. I'm clicking on the wrong things, for heaven's sakes. Here's a look at your Fig chart. Actually, it looks like it's kind of coming back. It did sell off here in the pre-market. Looks like it's trying to come back. Did we have news on this morning? No, we did have an article here. This was from yesterday. Kathy Wood buys the dip in Figma stock, sells Roku and Genius Sports. Kathy Wood swoops in Figma's 20% plunge, and ARK Invest secures up shares worth 5.9. scoops up shares worth 5.9 million. Excuse me.
Now, okay, so they do have this Bitcoin angle, right? So, or is it just an ETF stick? Do they own Bitcoin, the underlying itself, or do they
Figma
just own...
discloses $91 million Bitcoin ETF stake in its $1.6 billion treasury.
Okay, I guess what I'd want to know is like what's all in that treasury. I just don't know enough about this, but let's look at the chart and see what I can figure out here.
Okay.
That's such an awful looking chart.
Yeah, it sure is, man. I'll tell you what.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I think we need to pay attention to today. What do we get with today's candle? Because if we get something similar to yesterday, and then again tomorrow, that could be a bit of a reversal. So let's just see what we end up getting here today. I don't know where the bottom is in this drop that we're getting, but look for today's candle to be a little more on the neutral side, like yesterday's was. If we get that, then I think we might be starting to put in a bit of a reversal. If we get another big bearish looking candle down, then yesterday's candle is just a continuation, and there probably is more downside ahead. So
okay,
I think
we are open, folks.
Oh, perfect. Here we go. I talked my way into the open. All right.
Talked your way into the open. Let's do it.
All right. Let's see here. What do we got out of the gate? I don't know what we're going to get out of SC.
Rocket ripping. Netflix popping out of the gate. NBIS coming back, popping out of the gate. Tesla at the highs. Goldman Sachs at the highs. Market looks like it's trying to push higher.
And it seems like all the movers are just saying, who cares? And they're just giving up. Oh, here we go. PRSO is starting to move. So maybe there is some life. Meanwhile, V starting to go as well. That's looking for 325. Hour starting to move as well. That's pushing up to VWAP. Let's see if it can recapture it. ISPC not joining the party yet. That's under $1. And
Broadcom popped and dropped.
Broadcom should come in. With that move, I think there would be a little bit of selling at least. I don't know that we're going to completely fill the gap. That'd be a pretty substantial move down, but I think it's going to sell a little bit here.
All right, Lululemon. So we're basically, I actually kind of want to adjust this line that I drew. This is what I was talking about earlier. Here's your pre-market session, 164.22. I think if we hold that, maybe we can move to the top end of the range there, 171 and change.
So far, not really getting too much good movement. Looks like NHD trying to hit that trend line that we drew. It's pretty close to it now.
Lulu trading up here. I tried to buy some, but I got left in the dust. I tried that on Lulu. Did not get filled. Don't want to chase. Let's see what happens when we get to the top end of this range, if we get to the top end of that range.
Lulu's trying to recapture a trend line. If you want to draw it on the underside of the 23rd of June through the 1st of August, we opened beneath this trend line. We're trying to recapture it.
Okay, let's see. You've got this, the 21st of June under the 1st of August. Here you go. Let's go back to that 5-minute chart. Take a look at it. I see it, dude. We are right there, too. You're right. You are right. Yeah, Wiss, I don't have SSM in Pro here, so I'm probably not going to be taking a look at that today, my man. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with that.
NHD backing off of that trend line area after coming close to it. Looks like we're still, I don't know, we're just kind of back and forth with a lot of these movers we were looking at here today. Nothing really, giving us a clear direction on where it wants to go. Seems like NHD wants to go higher, but it's not there yet. Seems like ISPC wants to go lower, but it's not there yet. I mean, it looks like it could be there more than sooner than these other ones, but not getting that direction yet in some of these. Looks like we are kind of getting a direction in VEEE.
PAPL, this ripped out of the gate. What direction there are we getting in VEEE?
It looks like it's beneath the VWAP now, so I would think down. Support could be, if it's not going to hold at 290, it could be at 280.
Okay.
Here we go. We're starting to get some movement out of PRSO, looking for the session high. We're at that 160 level. I mentioned earlier that we need to start closing over. This is going to be the level that's going to tell us whether or not this goes higher or if it gets rejected.
Tesla's still ripping out of the gate. Apple also higher. Palo Alto made a move towards 200 as well. A lot of up moves here. Lululemon is still trading higher. I am pissed I didn't get filled on that. I'd already have a winning trade on my hand. Good Lord. I'll wait for the next time it turns around here. OKLO, this was higher in the pre-market, although it's giving back some of those gains. Mama Bear, good morning. Taking a look at Open, which has been one of those short interest rippers that we've traded recently.
Been a big mover, yeah. Just keep an eye on that trend line with Lulu. I feel like it's probably going to try and pull over it on at this open here, but as the day goes on, we might see this come back in. So PRSO got rejected at 160, coming down to the VWAP for support. V kind of whipping around the same. Same thing with Hour, that got rejected at VWAP. That lost its 65 EMA. We do have some support down at looks like 270, 275. That doesn't hold up. You have the 200 EMA down at 242.
1 for 1 on Rocket. Good stuff there. I'm still long those Rocket leaps.
Nice. NHD, that couldn't quite get to the trend line, backing off now, losing VWAP and that 65 EMA in the process. Looking like a little bit of a weak morning. Autodesk, says Peter. Izzy's trading Rocket. Wiss is looking at Duo. And then also Peter's looking at UNH.
Yeah, what give us some more context on these. What about Autodesk? It basically just popped less than 1% out of the open. What's the deal here? What's the deal on that? I'll take a look at UNH. Hopefully there's something a little bit more clear there. UNH just popping out of the open. This actually moved above yesterday's intraday high. So a nice little move higher here.
Kind of sidestepped across that downtrend line in UNH. Still has the task of getting back above, looks like 317. It seems to be maybe 320. That seems to be the resistance range for now. All right, so V down to its 65 EMA. PRSO trying to recapture VWAP. Hour dropped almost down to the 200 EMA, trying to come back up. Got to be patient with some of these. We're going to have to wait for them to set up now. It doesn't look like they're doing that at the moment.
PAPL still ripping out of the gate here, by the way.
I remember trading this one. What was the news on that today?
PAPL, let's take a look here.
They closed
on PAPL. Closes $100 million private placement.
And they initiated injective digital asset treasury strategy. So here's another one.
What did they say that was? This just an altcoin?
This pulls them over their 200-day SMA again. This chart's not looking too bad. I mean, PAPL it's looking interesting. Just the chart. Okay. All right, so some of those movers we're looking at that pulled out of the open, trying to recover. PRSO, maybe 130 supports the smoke tuna. So pretty close to that. I see the 130 area being a potential spot. But right now we are getting we need to have this current candle close, but we are getting a nice couple of lower wicks here. So buyers are seemingly stepping in for now.
Tesla's still pushing out of the gate here, indeed. Zach, Ryan, would it be a prudent idea to buy 750 2027 calls on Ondas, or am I a noob talking? Well, first of all, I cannot advise what you're doing, and clearly you're not a noob based on just how much you've been doing this recently. I do kind of like that. I think you're talking about something there in 2027, right? I suspect that this is going to continue to ramp. But I mean, I have no idea of knowing for sure there. Say that might be a nice way to gain some exposure without tying up a lot of capital with stock there. And Lululemon, folks. Man, this is officially a missed it. I tried to buy this right on that curl out of the open, and it just ran away from me. What a bummer. Hopefully someone caught this. This is several points already. HKPD getting a mention here from Tuna.
Hong Kong Police Department? Oh, Hong Kong Pharma, sorry. Yeah, 161 pre-market high. Beelining for that right now. Not sure if we're going to hit it here in the next few seconds, but we could. There's some sellers in the way from 161, so as soon as we chew through those, we'll hit it.
Yassine, Amanda, let's go. Hitting Lulu. At least some of you did that. Whoop. Rocket actually looked like that might try and push higher. Remember, Rocket has really high short interest as well.
How low did Lulu go in the pre-market here? Because if it hit 160, I think that's
163.98 was your low print of the day, and I believe that was post-open. I believe it sold into the open and then bounced hard.
Okay. Yeah, because I was looking
still bouncing.
I was looking for 160. That's the 200-month SMA. So I was thinking maybe we get some support down around there. It looks like it's. I mean, it's at 159.97, so basically 160. But that was the support area I was looking for in Lulu.
Okay, so it almost got there, but not quite.
Pretty close, yeah. Yeah.
They guided down, James. That was one of the reasons the stock got sunk. They guided down.
That's kind of been the theme lately with a lot of these earnings, is that if they don't have blow your pants off guidance, then it's gonna come back in.
Yep.
Or maybe your yoga pants, I should say. Blow your yoga pants off.
Hey, man. I'm not opposed to blowing yoga pants off. I don't know what to tell you. NUKK here. This is one of Lion's babies. This popping out of the open here. 522. I'm not on this, Lion.
So what's OKLO and SRM doing then?
OKLO was being mentioned by Peter earlier. This was moving higher, but not doing a whole lot. It's up by about 0.5%. Actually, this reversed. So it sold off and lost all of its extended session gains here, basically back down to where we closed yesterday.
We've got SR, or it's SMR, not SRM.
Yeah, SMR.
That's going down. That's been heading down since we opened.
So has Andis, by the way. Again, one of the reasons why I said don't be fooled by the news. You actually want to wait till they have the presentations. There might be more material news coming out of that Andis pulling here.
Lions waiting for hour to pull down to 255. Yeah, you're right about that, Smoke Tuna, and it does feel like today's different. Nothing's really getting going here, and I think that jobs report kind of I don't want to say surprised. I think we kind of felt like we were going to get something like this that would have been favorable for the rate cut scenario, but it seems like that was a really big hit to the amount of jobs that were added. B Hall saying AMD down 4.4% today on news that looks like it's as a downgrade. HKPD, by the way, still trying to push that 160. There is the big old sellers just camping out there right now at 160. Let me look at AMD and see if I can find that news he's referring to. Did get a drop out of here.
Open coming back in after its initial pop there. Broadcom also coming back in. Lulu continuing to push higher. 171 now on Lulu. I'll tell you what, at this point now, we talked about that. Let me actually go back to the chart here. We talked about this in a 166 handle, about a potential, or at least the first buy that I tried to make on this was in like a 166 handle. Right down here, 165, excuse me. We've got 6 points on this already. Lulu continuing to push to the upside. Don't chase it. But if you're in this, really good stuff. Make sure you get gains booked on that. Don't let it go red on you.
As far as AMD, I'll say this. I don't know that we need to. I don't think I would consider this a sell or anything like that. But this has gone on a pretty good run, so it wouldn't bother me at all if this came back in and cooled off a little bit. But I don't think this is done. I don't think the semiconductor AI theme is done for this or a lot of other chip companies. We're just going to need some cooling off here for a little bit of time. Now it is underneath its 50-day SMA. There's going to be support down around 148 that I can see. Maybe I think I like 148 better. And then beneath that you have the 500-day SMA at 139.67. So those would be a couple of downside targets I'd have for AMD for trades, not necessarily an investment, but just for trades.
Tesla new highs today.
Wild stuff. Ooh, big pull in HKPD. PAPL is open and printed 7:08. Now it's pulling. First red candle of the day. And we still have a minute left in it.
This PRSO tried to hold the VWAP, but just gave it up. I'd be careful with that. Amanda, I'm about to get a little short in Broadcom. Awesome. What's happening to Ondas? It's getting sold. More sellers than buyers, Jeremy. They did have a piece of news that they're presenting at several conferences next week. That's really what you should be looking ahead to. Ondas not even back to the lows from yesterday.
Might be a little bit of a weak day.
Gotta tell you what, the only trade that I liked here today, I didn't even get filled on. That was the Lulu Long right out of the open. Damn it. And this Tesla continued repeat sweeps here, 355. And those are the 355s for today. So it looks like people are just kind of chasing this performance higher on Tesla.
Space stocks aren't doing too bad, but they're not, ripping. Ooh, there's the move in PRSO that I think people were looking for. Yeah, none of these names except for PAPL really doing good. And now it's PAPL is halted again, 747, and it's because it's flying.
DocuSign, this might be trying to retake the VWAP right now. This pulled out of the open, basically profit taking on its earnings report. They did guide above estimates for anyone interested in that.
I'm just looking around for something that has.
Jane, nice job. Nice job there on Lulu.
Nice.
Hey, Ryan, who had puts for CRM? Is this hype? Wow. C-Boogie, what are you talking about? Is what hype?
Did CRM?
Well, CRM is continuing its up move. I don't know what. You were saying from yesterday. I think that was Lion. I think Lion was talking about CRM short yesterday. I was just on the long side yesterday. Skag going here. SCAG. Yes, it is. What is this?
Some of these ticker names, man.
Well, I mean, I don't think, to be fair, I don't think I'm supposed to pronounce the ticker name the way it looks. This is halted, by the way, to the upside 643.
Yeah, that just had a really nice blast over its 20-day SMA and ripping. I don't know what the news is on this. What did they do?
Yeah. Let me, while you look at that, let me take a step away here real quick. I got to reapply some cortisone to this bee sting. Be right back.
A zero emission solution provider in China. So this is probably just being pumped. It hasn't been on the market for very long. July 2nd, it came. It is the earliest news I have. SCAG Future completes major business combination with Pubco. So that must be why they're here. Tesla rise, fine with me taking my ribbon with it. Does Rhett? UNH strong. How's UNH doing this morning? They're getting getting a buy rating by Wolf Research and a price target raised by Bernstein from 379. I'm sorry, from 337 to 379. Meanwhile, V starting to go here. We got some a mover that's finally moving after touching the 65 EMA. We captured VWAP. 346 is the current high in VEEE. Let's see if any of these other ones going. Looks like Hour is starting to get moving here. That just started getting some attention. Still beneath VWAP and a 65 EMA. It's got the task of recapturing those. Large seller in the way at 3, which interestingly is right above the 65 EMA, but beneath the VWAP. So in that area there, could see some resistance. NHD looks like that's going to head lower. PAPL, we're still waiting for that to unhalt. And Neon isn't really glowing yet. But VEE Went up to 346, backing off a little bit now. It seems like some traders are walking this down. There is a little bit of a trend line we can draw here with VEE. I'm just going to say VE instead of
yeah. Good luck with that. That will change quickly. You'll be like V, and then all of a sudden it'll be like V, and you'll be like, trust me, it's hard.
And then you'll sound like the Twin V Power Cats.
That's right. That's right.
So the trend line on the top here that I drew, this might imply where the top is, and we've seen these trend lines get broken through and then used as support, so that's also possible. But I think we would need to see a lot more volume than what we're getting right now. Big seller at 340, they're trying to hit that right now. Then you have one at 350. Maybe if we chew through those, it starts trading better. But for now, I feel like this trend line is going to be our ceiling.
Really good pop there too on volume.
As he's saying, Rocket Lab, boom. That making a nice move here, because that was one of the space names that was looking pretty good here. Kind of dealing with the 20-day SMA. That's keeping it from going higher. I have that value at 44.71. We already hit that this morning. So I don't know. We got to get back above that 20-day SMA, or else we're going to lose the 50. NHD still trying to push up here. It just recaptured its VWAP. So maybe we have another potential trend line test coming here on NHD. PAPL is open at printed 754. Now it's pulling.
Here's your PAPL.
It still might push up higher. And they're making new highs now. This thing is insane.
Yeah, this really is.
Okay, so let's see. Where does this go? Maybe there's going to be some resistance around 820. That would be the next spot that I think we could. It would run into some trouble there. If you look at a daily chart and look to the left in 2024, you can see that 820 area being support before we lost it in February. You have to go more to the left.
Yeah, it's right over here. This is what you're. I see it.
That's it.
Okay.
And
with their PAPL,
it's only 40 cents away at this point, so why not?
Take a look at Lulu. 173 now on Lulu.
Wow.
Man, what a trade on Lulu. Let's see if we backtest the top of this trend line at 172. That might actually make you feel pretty good about more long entry here. I am so upset that I missed this.
Here comes Hour looking for 3. NHD also pushing up here, but PAPL, that hit 786. Kind of going a little bit of back and forth. Let's see if it can push higher. Still looking for 820.
What a knife on V. Oh, my goodness. I should smoke tuna. I warn everyone that V can cut. This is, again, why we don't really want to be... You want to be taking some of your gains quickly, especially on the smaller movers.
They also got a seller walking this down right now. But getting support from the 65 EMA, I'm just not sure if that's going to hold up. Pretty close to that trend line, though.
Lulu continuing 173.5.
So is I want to say PayPal, but it's PAPL.
But you know what's funny about that? PayPal also higher today, and that was after getting pounded yesterday right at the open.
PAPL 799.
Yep.
Watch this thing go to 820. Oh my God, 816.
It went right through it.
No, it hasn't hit the 820 yet.
Okay, it didn't. It looked like it popped right to it there.
Pretty close, 4 cents away. So 816 is the high. Maybe we get 820, but it certainly looks like it wants to try and back off now. We'll see if that ends up happening.
Yeah, PJ Trader, you're absolutely right, man. PAPL trade of the day. I mean, it was Lulu for a while there, but this is a pretty massive move here. And good morning, Aura Alpha. Nice to see you again.
ISPC. This is the one we didn't really like that much. It was the one that was trying to hold the dollar. Guess what? Couldn't hold it. It's going lower, like probably coming down
Oh yeah.
It's 65 cents. Oh, what a nasty fall. I have no interest in ISPC. At least not right now. I don't know. You guys can trade it later if you want, but
Some of you mentioning open. This look bullish to you? This looked like this might try and break and go higher?
wow. What do we have, an island here on open? At least the start of one, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. That's a good one to watch.
Oh, this one looks like open looks like it's about to go higher here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. It looks like that to me too.
Let me see here. Where does this go here if we can push higher? Where do we go? Or we'll go right into a bunch of consolidation from 2022.
I mean, this to me looks like this wants to break and go to 680. If it breaks that, I think you probably test 7 from here.
Interestingly, that the bulk of that consolidation is from 680 to 775.
Interesting. So that range then might be sticky for us to move through completely. I almost wonder if wow, they just took a huge block of stock on open right there. That was at 670, by the way.
Yep. And there's a big seller at 675. We're looking at 680 as potential resistance area. So we'll see what happens here at 675, 680.
Okay. Man, open's still trying to push higher here.
Danielle mentioning PAPL again. What's happened now? Did this come back in, or is it going higher? It's going higher. Let's see. Going higher and hitting. So we hit that 820 and we pushed past it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, this open looks like this is Aura Alpha here saying open bye-bye shorts, diesel fire incoming. I'll tell you what, this sure looks like this is going to test 680 here. Man, just with some of the other action we've seen here, I am worried about a knife though. I don't know. For those of you that are in lower here, how are you playing this? Because you probably won't be as hit by a knife as someone that's buying up here for a potential break.
NHD is taking that trend line right now.
I don't have NHD on my scanner. Let me see if I can. Boy, I haven't looked at that in a little bit here. NHD.
Yep, 10 now. That took the trend line. Next resistance looking like 1050.
Woo! There's a nice pre-market high break.
Yep. And then the high from yesterday was 1094, so that'll be the next one if we can get 1050. Still might get a back test on this trend line though, because where's your trend line?
Yeah, I think it got deleted here. I don't know. I'm having some issues with my setup here, but here's the trend line, and you can see the clear break above.
Yeah. So we might see this come back and back test the trend line, but we want to have the trend line hold, and then we can get those 1050, 1094, maybe higher areas. PAPL now finally coming in after hitting 858. We were looking for 820, got 38 cents more. Now it's pulling.
That's PAPL.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Can't see my screen. Funky Cold Stocks, welcome back. Good morning. Good to see you again. PRSO trying to reclaim the VWAP here.
That's true.
PRSO. Let me bring that up. Is there a setup on that?
Maybe there could be if we can close above the VWAP here with this candle. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, here we go, and then we get this VWAP rejection with 2 minutes left in the candle. So
yeah,
I'm gonna wait and see if this actually does recapture this. Now that all that supply up there from what is this, from about 145 to 160, all those sellers are probably like, I need to get out of this thing. So might see some selling as we try to chew through this whole area here from the pre-market.
Okay. Anyone trading PRSO? Trading this for some upside? I'm not on this one.
Zach is mentioning FBio.
We saw that on the scanner earlier, or I did anyway. I don't think I pulled it up though. Let me see if I can do that. Still, what PRSO still right at that VWAP right now. So maybe keep an eye on that if you're looking at it. Let me take a look at FBio.
This has been on a bit of a move lately. Kind of under the radar upside here,
Yeah.
Going on a a double since the middle of August. So it looks like $4 could be could be a resistance spot for FBio. It's still trying to deal with some of the supply back from December of 2023. Matter of fact, we're filling a gap.
How much volume do we have in this thing? 2.3 million here, so we're way above its average volume here. So this definitely in play today, FBio.
I'm sorry, we did fill the gap in FBio. It was it filled at what is this value here? 359. We went a little bit higher than that, and now we're trading beneath it. That was from December 28th. That was the opening price. And the following day we gapped down. So filled the gap there, but that candle from the 20th of December, that's probably what we're having to deal with right now. Those holders. It doesn't have a lot of gas right now, PRSO. Volume's just not there at the moment. But NHD is looking pretty good here. Maybe we get our back test of the trend line at this candle or the next.
Is it trading down? Why don't I see NHD on the scanner? I'm thinking that
only,
it's being.
It's probably low volume and it's only up 22%.
It meets the volume. It just needs to be trading up. Let me see here. Yeah, 3.3 million. No, this definitely meets the volume criteria. I don't know. Skag halted to the downside.
And that call and open wasn't a bad one at all. We're getting a pull here down to VWAP now.
Yep. Now VWAP at 653. Who thinks it bounces here at VWAP?
Based on the way the MACD looks, I'm not sure that it will.
Okay. Here's your pullback. We want to see if this holds. This actually coming in. What's the other moving average right down here? The 15 EMA also right there at VWAP. It's INHD, Bob. INHD. And that's the problem. See, 13, try not to call it NHD because it sounds like NHD.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's INHD is your ticker.
Think of it like
wow, look at the pull on open, guys. Oh my God. Okay, so now that the pull's happening, we were kind of warning about this. What's the next trading? Is this done or is there possible more movement here in open?
It looks like we could go, down to this consolidation in the pre-market down around, 625. I mean, that's kind of what I'd be looking at right now. Look at how we just got some support from the sideways consolidation in the last half hour of the pre-market. You see that up there? We just kind of went sideways at around,
yeah, right here, 640.
Mm-hmm. So that's where some of the supply, so the demand is. We lose that, I think we're gonna go down to where the bulk of the demand is, down around 625.
Okay, looks like there was a big bidder there at 645 that's trying to hold it here. We'll see if it can recapture VWAP on this little bit of a bounce or if it gets rejected. I think if it does get rejected, probably rolls over again.
That PRSO still pushing down here. Not new lows yet, but we could be hitting the 65 EMA pretty soon. VEE is trading beneath its 65 EMA right now. Hour is trying to recapture its 65 EMA, and then it'll be on track to recapture its VWAP thereafter. Large seller in the way at 288 for hour. And then INHD is getting support from that trend line. For now, need better volume, but it's getting support at the moment. So if we can see some volume step in here, we might be able to go higher than 1020.
With this hour here, it looks like it popped above these moving averages and then just kind of stopped. I don't know if I trust this yet. I'd actually like to see a reclaim of 310, to be quite honest with you, on hour. Let me know what you think, Tuna, here. I know that you were mentioning this, at least just the ticker. Yeah, funky cold stocks. I don't love anything today either. I liked Lulu earlier, but I missed it, and I don't like anything else.
Hour, it just
look
went
at that
EMA, and now it's looking for a VWAP.
There's your VWAP.
Trying to take that right now. We've got sellers at 310 and 315 to watch out for, but volume is expanding a little bit here. This is about the spot where we need to get through, and then we can talk about that consolidation from the pre-market that's closer to 330. Oh man, they are taking all those sellers. 315 is the next one now.
Oh my. Yeah, Lulu doing what CRM did yesterday, slowly creeping higher. That's okay. You can't hit them all, right, producer? Can't hit them all. Can't hit them all.
Looks like
Rocket stopped at 2050. That's RKT.
yeah. Ugly looking candle in PRSO. That's going to come right down to the 65 EMA, but there's still some buyers keeping it up a little bit. Hour with the big move now, right to that.
Right through that. What's the halt level for this?
I don't know, but 330 right there. That's where we went to. That's where the
13
consolidation is.
Let's go, dude.
And a little bit of a rejection now because there's a seller that just appeared at 331. So more volume, more ways to shoot through that seller.
Nice little volume stick there too.
And then if we can get through 330 here and all these all this consolidation from the pre-market, 350 looks to be the next spot where we could see resistance.
Hour going for 372, says Smoke Tuna. That's your upside target, 372. And Billy saying that there's room on the daily here. I think this is what 13 covered earlier, right? 348 and then like a 380-ish area, Billy. Let me know what the top end of that range that you have on that daily.
Yeah, I think we have seen some of that those daily levels kind of kick in already in the pre-market here. That's why I've got the 350 as one spot. We just hit it. 372 is the pre-market high, and then above that we got just shy of $4 as next resistance area. Man, we are really hitting these levels an hour right now. We're going for 372. So
look at this move.
That's the pre-market high. So
it's a great call. Everyone else. So PAPL and Hour and Lulu here, three of the winning trades that the group has been discussing and trading. Really good stuff yet again from our group.
And now look at PAPL. That's halted to the downside after this massive run it's had. Support for this one, if there is going to be support coming, I don't know where that's going to kick in exactly, but some levels to watch for going to be 7, maybe 705, 650 will be another one. And then if we lose that, probably not going to get some decent support until closer to 560 or 550.
Market is pulling here. It's reversing that bounce higher that it had.
Hour is almost at 372. We're about to hit it.
Really good stuff on this trade, guys.
As a matter of fact, there it is. And we're higher. And now we're looking for, so 381. Now the high for Hour. Still looking for a little bit more, just shy of 4. I think we want like maybe 395, 397, somewhere in there. That'd be great, but it's still been a really good trade here in Hour.
Yeah, indeed. Really good call. Really good setup. It wasn't a whole lot today, so glad we're able to find something. Mm-hmm. Volume looking good on this too. Continuing to stack on top of it. That's what we want to see for a move higher.
Yep. Make sure you're paying yourself.
Smoke Tuna's out. Nice move there, Tuna. Nice move there.
He hit his target.
Lululemon 175. Almost 10 points from the entry that we discussed. Yeah, Rhett, YouTube has an inherent delay that we can't do anything about. It is set for the best latency settings that we can get. One thing you might want to try is that if you notice the stream is behind, try just refreshing it. You should get a better, better latency that way. We've actually had that issue before.
So NHD came down underneath the trend line. Now it's getting some support from VWAP and the top of this pre-market consolidation here. Hopefully this holds up and we can get another move up through the VWAP again. Otherwise, this might continue to come down and test the 65 EMA.
Tell you what, with the break of the trend line here, don't love it.
VEEE still trying to recapture the 65 EMA. That just looks like it's just going to end up going lower here. If we can't get above it soon. Getting a little bit of a pullback here in Hour.
Seeing Tesla puts get bought. So this is those short-term traders here on Tesla. They were trading the calls that expire today on the way up. Looks like they're hitting puts that expire today on the way down here.
Chester has hour at 440. Looks like hour is still trying to push up higher.
Chester, I have hour at 440. Is that the target that you have at 440? What?
I think that's what he means. It sounds like it. Let me see if this trend line looks good here. Because if it does, then maybe 440 is the reason why it looks good. No, that implies it's even higher, like in the fives. Okay. I just took a trend line from the
look at this,
the close. Yeah, from the close yesterday through the high of the pre-market, and that trend line extends up into the 5 handle, like around 530 or higher.
Hour, just insane.
Yeah. This is our hour. Wow, right to 390. Perfect. Okay, so just a little bit shy of where I was looking for. I think it was 395, 397. Not too far away.
See, that market pull, it's slowing down, but I'm not sure that it's stopping here. 649 and change on the SPY.
We did get a recapture of the 65 EMA on V.
That's VEEE.
See if it can hold above it now. Resistance at 442. Okay. Let me look at a larger chart here. That those resistance levels are going to go back a ways.
Yeah. Okay. Izzy, I don't have much, man. I'm struggling today.
Yeah. So for hour, the last time we were up in this area was back in December around Christmas. So I'm not really seeing the 442 level. I think you're referring to the close from Christmas Eve, which was 440. So that might be what you're referring to. Let me know. Other than that, the price action we got that day took us all the way up to 690. Don't know that we're going to end up seeing that, but I think that if you mean the close from December 24th in 2024, that's about where that level is.
Anyone buying the Broadcom pullback back into the range? I would say if it holds 331, maybe. Take a look at Lulu here. Lulu pulling back. Now, this will be interesting. Can this hold 172? I've got it marked off at 171.84 at the top end of that pre-market range. If this holds here, it might actually try and go higher. That's going to be Lulu. No position yet.
Hour coming back in now?
I really don't feel great either. I'm not sure I'm going to do much trading here today, to be honest.
And you know what? That's fine too.
Yeah. That's
fine too. If we're going to end the day with just slightly positive, that's better than being negative at all.
Yeah, I just missed a couple, and I'm still. I mean, I'll tell you what, man. This was a reminder that I am absolutely still allergic to bee stings. It absolutely sucks.
That does suck. I love it.
It's man, these are the worst things in the world.
Some days do suck. Yeah, we are. I'm keeping an eye on PRSO. We are getting some support around the 65 EMA. Need to see volume to match it, though. Remember, we need that component of volume in order to get the upside moves we're looking for here. VWAP I currently have at 141. Let's watch for the volume expansion. We start to see volume expand. I think you guys are onto something here. We're going to have a big or a good move here in PRSO. It's just that once we get to VWAP, there's going to be a lot of resistance from the pre-market that we weren't able to chew through earlier at the open. So just keep that in mind. We need to see big volume here.
That's actually helpful. Funky Cold Stocks, feel better, bro. Bee stings put me out of commission for a good 2 days. That's good to know, because the day it happened, it wasn't bad. Yesterday was worse. And today I just don't even feel great from it. But we'll see.
PAPL really coming back in now after losing VWAP. So that read was pretty good.
Yeah. Good stuff there. Good morning, Beach. Good morning, Bourne. Bourne, how excited are you that the NFL is back, bro?
Yeah, our is on the recovery again. We have a seller at 385. If we get up there, watch out for him. Nice recovery of 350 in HOUR.
There another trade there, you think? I mean, this thing's already pretty extended, up 100% almost.
Yeah, I think some of the ones that have the movers that got slammed earlier might be better. I don't necessarily want to grab something that's already been had the move up.
Yeah. I feel like I'm late to it. That's my big issue. Oh, maybe, it's ripping though. Look at this.
Maybe there's a scalp.
New highs
In hour. Oh, nice.
Went to 4. 4 is the high print there. It didn't snap it, but it tried.
I got the 390. I got the resistance line. Now we're at 4. There's 4. Just hit it. Perfect. And we're going
and
beyond.
Through.
All right, give us. I guess let's look for that trend line to get hit now. If we hold above 4, let's see what do. PAPL continuing lower. HKPD lower. Open lower. V trying to recover, still holding above the 65 EMA. PRSO doing the same thing, trying to turn around. NHD, INHD, trying to hold above its VWAP.
What a call an hour.
Yeah.
Really good stuff here, guys. Take care of yourself, Lion. Have a great one. Market continuing to pull. That is correct.
Well, good, because we kind of needed it.
648 there on the SPY. Ondis lows minus almost 4%. And NBIS, which popped earlier, that rolled over here again too. VIX also 1541. So it looks like that VIX is coming off that bottom that it put in. That was in the pre-market here after that data print that we got. Hour continuing 420 year high print, that and more new highs in hour. What a move.
Yep. It still looks like we could end up going for that trend line. 438 now.
Lulu CEO live on CNBC. It looks like, yeah, Sarah Eisen doing that interview here. I can't hear what they're saying. Lulu did back off after that initial bounce. So 173 here on Lulu. You know, I haven't seen a whole lot of interesting option trades on Lulu. I've been kind of keeping an eye on that. Seen a lot on Tesla, some on NVIDIA, even some on Ondis, but not a whole lot there on Lulu.
Take care, Jane. Have a good one.
Take care of yourself, Jane. Have a great weekend. Smoke Tuna, new target here for hour, possibly 688. Well, I wouldn't chase the move. That would, I guess, be for players that are already in it or have profit built up in it.
Or if there's a pull that provides a setup for that, that's what we would have to be waiting for.
Market's still pulling.
Let's see here. Yep. I mean, this is the SPY is doing pretty much what I thought it would do. I said it yesterday and then happy hour. With the move that we were getting, this and that really bullish candle we had yesterday, seems like there was a case where we would open higher and then start selling off. And here we are.
Look at Palantir. Look at all of the red volume on Palantir as this continues to pound the lows. 150 now on Palantir. All selling volume. Stock's down 3.3% here.
NVIDIA coming down to a support area at 165. This thing getting hammered. I have another chart that I felt that shows where I think NVIDIA goes before it finds support. That is, we're not too far away, actually. 158, I think, is where we see the next big support area for NVIDIA.
I don't see any news attributing to this Palantir move, though. I guess we had a director selling stock yesterday. That came out 156.42 was the sell on 20K shares.
because even he knows that this thing is pretty.
I mean, I think we all do, right? I don't think that's any surprise here. Palantir having a rough day. You know what though? The market's really kind of having a rough day in general. So
yeah, we're getting out of tech.
Yeah, that rotation, absolutely, 13. It looks like the rotation out of tech still on here, or still happening, I guess I would say.
Looks like Palantir.
A lot of stuff rolling over.
Yeah, it looks like Palantir. I mean, there might be support around 145, but I think we still go lower than that. I'm thinking I don't know about next week, but soon, this month maybe, we're going to come down to 126, I think.
Is that a buy zone if we come into 126? Or do you not know yet?
I mean, I don't know that I'd want to even buy it there. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tennis is life. Are you enjoying the U.S. Open? And if so, who do you have? That Anisimova match last night was awesome. Limit yourself to 4 trades maximum per day. If you go 0 for 4, accept the loss and turn on, and it says turn on Hey Focus. I agree with that. Look, if nothing's working, shutting it down early, a really good way of preventing you from making the damage worse, right? Revenge trading, always the worst.
Yeah, that's great. I don't even go for 4. I go for 3.
Yeah, me too. I was just going to say, I don't even wait for 4. Sometimes 2 or 3, and I'm like, it's just not on here.
No, that's good discipline. That's rules for yourself you should be following to make sure you can come back and do this again the next day.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get yourself stuck. Market trying to bounce here. This is basically, so looking at the S&P cash, it's basically bouncing off of the daily pivot today. SPY, same deal. So we'll see if this holds here.
Rex, so you got your AT&T, Verizon. I don't know what MO is off the top of my head.
13, this is exactly what you said yesterday, right? I'm pretty sure on Happy Hour, you said that you could see the market maybe popping to the new high, which is exactly what we got, and then backing off. And that is exactly what we're seeing here. It's worth noting that we've crashed all the way down to like where we were yesterday, midday. Like literally the 1 o'clock hour is where the SPY's at right now.
And so, it's because we were getting this pattern in the SPY that looked like a mat hold pattern, where you start off with a bearish candle, then you get a gap down, followed by the 3 green days that recover, and then typically the next day after that is a higher open, but we end up selling off and end up with a big red candle. So far that's what it looks like we're getting here is some kind of a skewed mat hold pattern. Where's the buy zone for hour? Shit.
My big thing here is that it might not be so much of a zone. Like this just looks really extended. I would, okay. So if I had to pick something, I'd probably say this 360 to 370 area is your buy zone. If it gets back down there, I actually have VWAP here, 348 an hour.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I think 350 to 360
is
probably the if we have to choose one, that's probably where it is.
And I'm not even sure I would. That's the other point that I'm making here. That bounce, by the way, very short-lived, returning to the lows. We'll see if they hold here. Lululemon CEO still doing the interview with Eisen on CNBC. There's a lot of share for us to still gain and grow. That's a quote from the Lululemon CEO. Let me check in on that chart here. Still so pissed I missed that. My entire day would have been made from that.
Is anybody asking about their inventory levels? Because I'm pretty sure that's one of the big problems they're having as evidenced by their
look,
sales.
Lulu did end up holding the back test of that. How about that? The top end of this pre-market channel that we had identified, Lulu came back in and held that.
Open even lower now. This is coming down to some of the actually the highs from yesterday might be support. That's going to be about $6, like 607, that area.
Ooh, nasty pull. Is this a buyable pull? The 603? The 603 kind of lines up with the top end of yesterday's regular session as well as the 200 EMA.
Maybe. I think if we can get a move quick enough down to that 200 EMA, I think the 200 EMA might be a good bounce trade.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And I think that what I would also like to see in accordance with that would be some flip to some buying volume. You can see this entire move down happening because there's just a ton of selling volume. So unless that changes, I'm not even sure that 603 spot's going to be a buy spot. Conversely, though, if we move down to that and you see buyers stepping in there, perhaps that's your trigger.
Nice mention on KWM. We are seeing this stock trade above its 20-day SMA for the first time since mid-July.
KWM?
Yeah, this is K-Wave Media. This is probably an international company of some kind. Let me see here. Filings will tell me. Yep, it's a foreign issue. So this is out of the Cayman Islands, which makes me think that this could be a China name. No, South Korean. It's a South Korean name.
Okay.
And that makes sense since, all their entertainment starts with a K anyway, like K-Wave, K-pop, all that stuff.
Mutsinzi here. One thing I have realized is that Open, OPAD, and THAR, they always move together. Now that's interesting. We've taken a look at Open here today. I didn't look at OPAD, although I did notice that this was on the scanner when Open was running earlier. Take a look at this. This looks very similar. And then THAR, this was another one that we traded recently here, another one of those movers, Tharimmune, right? Does this have, that actually looks similar too. Does this have any biotech developing portfolio of therapeutic candidates for rare immune? I almost wonder if these are the short interest is the theme here.
OPAD makes sense to why it would trade with Open Door, but I don't see the connection to THAR other than what you just said. They're vastly different sectors. You got biotech versus real estate.
Yeah.
So I don't know how THAR is trading so similarly, but I can definitely see the connection there with the Open and OPAD.
Okay.
Looks like NHD is not having a good time trying to get back above that trend line. Hour is trying to push higher now. Maybe it goes to the that $6 area that we were looking at.
Open is also a meme style traded. Yeah, indeed it is. Indeed. Will, you're great. We think you're great. We think everyone in the chat here is great.
Yeah.
Well, everyone that supports us, not the trolls.
Big pull here, an hour after trying to get above the 440. Looks like it's not having the strength at the moment. And keep in mind, we are just 4 minutes away from the 10:30 time where volume really does end up leaving the market here. So keep that in mind if you're going to look for some new trades here. We might not get enough of that follow-through we're looking for. Looks like PAPL is setting up to go lower. A lot of these are setting up to go lower.
More Rocket calls. Let's see. Rocket came back in and lost 20. Maybe that's trying to bounce. KWM holds 800 or 88 Bitcoin. Is that what that is? Yeah.
88 Bitcoin. They've got millions.
Broadcom, how's that doing? Broadcom, middle of the range. I'd like to see it test one end of this range. JJ saying, Ryan, did you guys identify Hour as a breakout in your afternoon show yesterday? No, we didn't even talk about Hour yesterday. Hour was from the morning here today. In addition to us breaking it down early as one of the movers, Tuna was also on that one. Very early call, by the way, on that one. But no, this was nothing. We didn't talk about this in the after hours yesterday.
Open might be trying to turn around.
NASDAQ, green to red. That bounce did not hold. Market's still pulling.
Okay, well, let's look at TQQQ and SQQQ then, see if they're setting up. Oh, I'd say the TQQQ is certainly setting up.
Okay, let's take a look at it.
I mean, it is really extended from its VWAP.
Oh my God, yeah, it is.
I wonder.
Yep, me too.
All right, let's go back to SPY here, see what we got. Maybe there's support coming around 645 in SPY.
Been scalping S&P on the way down. Done for now. May continue back at the end of the day. Take care of yourself, Big B. It's really good stuff.
Yep. Take care, Big B's. Yeah, a really good trade at CRM. It looks like our trying to push back up here. They've got a seller at what is this? 438 and 440. They got to deal with. Wow, it looks like we are starting to get a little turnaround here in the TQQQ, maybe. That thing was just really extended, so it wouldn't surprise me if this really started to turn around and attempt a recovery. It's well past its the price that we look for, like 125, 150 away from VWAP.
So the other thing here that we really want to see for one of these entry triggers, you're the price away from the VWAP. You're absolutely right about that. But if you're really trying to time this move, very similar to what we've talked about on some of the other stocks, like let's have this selling volume turn to buying volume.
Yeah,
that would be something that we would really want to see here. We'll see if we get the market to even just bounce for 10 minutes. You might get enough on TQQQ there.
NHD just had a big recovery move. Still not above the trend line, but it recovered a little bit here. We are getting some nice movement here in hour. That's approaching the session high again. Actually, just tapped it, 447.
Market really pulling here.
Wow.
TQQQ pulling even more. Actually, it's trying to put in another bounce candle down here. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Open's trying to turn around, even though it hasn't put a green candle in yet. Hour printed 459 before pulling again.
VIX back above 16, and Bitcoin trying to hold 111 as we speak.
PAPL is on the verge of hitting a VWAP again. So some of these look like they're turning around while others are still getting hit.
I think tennis is life. Be careful. I think, you know what? On a Friday like this, I think you're probably right about that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Let's be careful, folks. I like that idea.
And I was telling you earlier that the SPY was trying to bounce off that daily pivot. We've sailed through that to the downside. We're approaching support 1 now from the pivot study.
That's true, Big Bear Hugs. We've already started to see a lot of broadening out. A lot of these big gainers, especially in the AI space, getting sold, and some of these other consumer discretionary names starting to get picked up. Nice potential reversal we have coming up here with TQQQ. I think this is starting to look pretty good here, but I want to see it get back above 9180.
Would you consider holding this over the weekend, or this? No, not at all. I don't good. I don't feel good about, unnecessarily a bounce for sure coming. So
I wouldn't feel good about that either, because I don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. I mean, Trump could say something that it spooks the entire market. Look at NHD now trying to recapture the VWAP.
NHD, huh?
Sorry, INHD.
I know what you mean, so I'll try and put up the right ticker. That's for sure.
And Chester's saying hour.
Let's take a look.
Yep, that's going again. Nice. That just hit a high of 467. Maybe that trend line is still in play. So NHD turning around. Look at NHD go. We just put a new high in.
An hour going to 5. It looks like.
Yeah, it took an hour, but NHD is now now higher.
Not bad.
Oh man. Sometimes the market just writes these own jokes for you. PRSO not looking great here. Might lose the 65 EMA unless volume suddenly magically appears, and turns this stock around. And Open still looks like it's trying to turn around as well, but I don't want to say, we definitely got a recovery happening here. It doesn't look like it quite yet. but it just looks like it's trying to keep from going beneath the 200 EMA.
Yeah, that $6 level really looks to be the level in play now. Now, how long will it hold? That's obviously the big question.
I wouldn't be surprised if hour hits 550 real fast. I mean, that would be right to our trend line, and that seems like a potential spot that it would run to. Get a little pull here in NHD. So I guess with a little bit of patience, some of these things did set up for a nice secondary trade. 490 now an hour. I swear 550 comes so fast. It's gonna blow my mind that it happened, because I wasn't sure it was gonna hit this trend line today. Yeah,
great move here an hour for anyone that played it. Holding on to my puts a little longer, but not over the weekend. Big bear hug. Was that SPY puts that you had? You said SPY's trying to hold its 50-day moving average. So a possible bounce spot there. That's from the 50, or that's from the daily, excuse me.
The 50-day moving average in SPY is far away. It's at 633. We're nowhere near that.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what he's talking about.
It might be the 20-day SMA, but that's still down at 642.
I mean, part of me thinks that the market should bounce at some point, but none of that's a rule. Oh man, this itches so bad.
It might just be a broker thing too. I mean, I'm looking at Benzinga's chart, and that 50-day SMA is down at 633. 493 an hour, starting to look a little toppy here. And open, still printing lower here. Let's see what happens at the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. That's going to be right at the top of that consolidated area going into the close yesterday. So this could be
Chester, can I have a beer already, or is it too early? I can't answer
that. No, you can. There is such a thing as breakfast beer. There is such a thing. Go ahead and Google it. You'll see. I mean, it's a great beverage to have with steak and eggs.
Oh, man, that sounds good.
Yeah, it does. Matter of fact, I'll see you guys later.
Oh my God.
Yeah, hour backing off a little bit now after hitting 493. What a nice move.
13, let me actually go grab that ice pack real quick. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. NHD, meanwhile, INHD, that's still trying to push higher into the 10s. We got 1016 right now. We have a high of 1041. Looking for 1050. That's the pre-market high, and then the high from yesterday was 1094. So those are the next two levels we're going to want to see get captured. We are with hour again, trying to print higher than 493. Looks like VEE is saying no, I don't want to go much lower than 265. We'll see if it can recapture VWAP. I'm sorry, recapture the 65 EMA. I don't know about V. This thing still looks like it could go lower.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about bounces on anything, on any of these things that pull, whether they're movers or bigger stocks. I don't know.
I'm curious to see if we're going to get a bounce here with open, because we just hit the 200 EMA. That's the high. That's the same area as the highs from yesterday as we went into the close. So I think it'd be cool. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it'd be great if this did a reversal here and tried to climb back up into the 630 area, or at least the 625 area where that pre-market consolidation is. Jonathan, you asked me about Circle. I'll look and see if there's a potential trade here. Wow, this thing got slapped down. I have 104 as a level, so maybe. What are you looking at, Jonathan, as a buy zone? Do you think 104 is kind of the spot? That's the spot that I'd be looking at. I'm not going to trade it, but if there's going to be any spot that looks like it could provide a bounce or some support, 104 looks to be it. Now, I don't know how much of a reversal we're going to get, This does appear that it's trading into a descending triangle, but I think it could take some time before we see that full resolution. So I think 104, that's the spot that I think that there's going to be a bounce, and it matches up pretty well with the low RSI. So if we get a bounce there, I think that we could maybe get up to 135 where the 20-day SMA is. But I don't know if we're going to go a whole lot higher than that. That'd kind of be my concern. Does that make sense? You let me know if that makes sense.
MSPR getting a mention here from Tuna. This spiking on volume. Did we have news on this? That's from Wednesday, September 3rd. 1 for 7 reverse on that.
MSPR.
More new lows on the market. Another yank down.
Oh, wow. Is this real for MSPR? No, it's not.
What?
I was going to say this is short interest real, but I guess it's the key data didn't have the correct figure. It's actually 12% of the float short.
Yeah.
It said it a second ago. I mean, look, I'm looking at it right now on the key data, and it says that it's 84%. Wow. Look at this reversal here with open. Right at the 200 EMA.
Did we get it?
We got it. Now, I don't know how much higher we're going to go because I thought that 625 could be a pretty stiff area of supply based on all that sideways action that we got in the pre-market. But that 200 EMA, I was just looking to see if we got a bounce, and sure enough, it did. Good stuff. Hour, that might be next. That's still hanging out up here, looking to push through 493. Be careful. We also have a series of upper shadows getting printed here as well. If we do get a third set of upper shadows, a third upper shadow, then I think this could reverse. So we need to take this 493 level out now.
Okay. Still watching open to see if this bounce holds. Not in it, by the way.
Yeah, I think that, with open, I'm just looking to see if this is going to go back up to 625. I'm not expecting a huge move in this one, but I just want to see if the 200 would provide a bounce. So far it did, but that sideways consolidation from the pre-market, that's concerning. NHD came down to the trend line. It's getting some support from that trend line. If it does continue to get support from the trend line, maybe we're going to see another move back over 10 again. PAPL, keep an eye on that one. It's trying to recover its VWAP. All right, so open only went as high as 617 before it came back in. So 8 cents away from where I was looking for. That's okay. In HD, still getting some support, looking for 10.
Epsom salt soak. I don't know if I have the stuff to do that. Appreciate it, but I just don't know if I have that.
Another one to keep an eye on is PRSO. We've been getting some pretty good support.
Got it.
65 EMA all morning. Still need to see some expansion in volume, but this looks like it's trying to curl back up and make its way back towards VWAP. So keep an eye on this one. I think resistance is going to be around 140. Lots of sellers from 140 all the way up beyond 170. So we really need to see a lot of volume expansion here with PRSO if it's going to go higher. Yeah, open now, trading underneath it, or down to the 200 EMA again.
Market is still pulling these. There are no bounce in this market at all. None. I mean, like, it tries for like a minute and it can't. It just continues to take out some of these levels lower.
So, we've talked about how there's so many ETFs, right?
Yep.
And how many of those ETFs are holding NVIDIA? Because NVIDIA is down 4%. So you have this cascading effect where all
that's a good point.
That have all this NVIDIA are all getting hammered. So it's not just a stock that's coming down. It's taking the whole market down with it. Oh, it's Palantir. I wanted to look at this one. I'm still thinking that 158. That's the support. The next big support area for NVIDIA. I think we go there. I don't know about today, but I think we're going there. And the pattern looks clear as day to me. I don't know why more people don't talk about it, but look at NVIDIA's chart. I mean, that's a head and shoulders. That's a head and shoulders all day. The cues look the same.
Oh, come on.
All right. So hour still has.
So you're saying a head and shoulders on the daily here?
Yeah. Zoom in a little bit. See that? See that topping out formation there?
Right here?
Mm-hmm. That's a head and shoulders all day.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I looked at it that way, and when I did, I took the measurement from the neckline to the top of the head.
Okay.
And then I took that same measurement and I flipped it. So from the neckline down to, where that same value is, and that's going to put you down at 158. So that's where I think we're going to go.
Okay.
I'm not trying to talk you into selling your Palantir and NVIDIA SNL. I know that you're going to hold it. That's great. I'm just talking about where I think this comes down to now. Once we hit 158, we might turn around and go back up, have another good rally. Don't know what's going to happen, but I think 158 is where the price is headed to.
More downside in the market here. More downside. Smoke Tuna says all movers will not hold today when the market is a big magnet to the downside, and that is what we are seeing. This market reversed from the open hard. Put buyers clearly winning the day here. There is no bounce in anything yet. Not saying it might not bounce at some point today, but so far, no bueno. You look at your TQQQ. That thing is getting destroyed. It can't bounce at all. And you made a really good point about NVIDIA here, because NVIDIA keeps moving to the lows too. That's going to drag all this stuff with it.
Yeah, I think you might get some support around 643. You want to have a little fun, draw a bit of a trend line here.
On what?
On SPY.
Sure.
Start with the June 23rd low, and draw it through the August 1st low. And then that might be where you get support today, if you keep drawing it. So June 23rd low.
There it is. Yep, got it.
So that's probably where we're going to find some support.
Okay.
Something to watch for.
Okay, folks, 13 minutes. As a reminder, there's no Anne Marie today. She had a scheduled internet outage. Hopefully it doesn't last all that long, but we will be going to Palo here in about 13 minutes. I'm going to go try some of your home remedies on this bee sting, because this sucks. This absolutely sucks. It's actually making me feel sick.
Well, I'm glad that it's Friday so that you can spend some time recovering if you need.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't want to go to the doctor, man. And if this doesn't get better, I'm going to have to.
PAPL, still keep an eye on that one. It's slowly trying to get towards its VWAP. It's almost there, but volume's absolutely garbage in this, as is in many of these movers this morning. In HD, down to VWAP again. Our pretty much almost there at that 550 level. We almost hit that trend line. 532 is the high in hour. Wow. So that, I mean, I don't want to say that this was the stock of the day. I think we already gave that title to PAPL, right? But man, our really good moves here just at a later time, an hour later. And now we have PRSO that's still continuing to curl. Still need more volume because, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of sellers in the way with this one. So we need to see some volume really expand here with this one. Otherwise, this is going to get hit hard. But man, hour, just fantastic. I think we're going to hit the trend line. We're still pushing towards it. NHD still holding above VWAP. Neon, that's down to $5 now. We just hit $5 in Neon a second ago.
See if hour gets to that top of that trend line. Yeah, and Webcoin, I completely agree with this sentiment. It's hard to have confidence in any move up with SPY absolutely tanking. And it's not just SPY too, it's tech, it's Dow, it's the entire market is moving down here and showing no signs of bouncing, at least not yet.
Wow, look at that 5-minute chart in SPY. Crazy.
Nasty, dude. It's absolutely nasty.
And then the president rubbing salt on the wound. Jerome Too Late Powell should have lowered rates long ago.
I mean, here's the trend line. So we are coming into the trend line there.
We're getting rate cuts. It's pretty much like it seems like it's a certainty at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How is real estate doing? That's a good question.
Rocket was having a great morning. It gave back all of its gains, though.
Come on. What the heck? There we are. United Wholesale doing pretty good. That's pulled back, though, after hitting 632, looks like. And it's our selling there, too. All right. Well, PRSO still slowly grinding higher. VEEE still looking like this is going lower. Our hit 540, so almost there. And open door went down to 590, trying to turn around now. So it looks like just shook out some weaker hands. Now it's starting to trade a bit better here. Maybe we'll see this 625 print now here with open, maybe even higher. BMNR under 40. Hood is announcing gold sweepstakes for new deposits. Oh, man. So I remember when Hood was starting to run with all these different product offerings. So maybe we start to see another move, a prolonged move in Hood as well. PRSO, so Smoke Tuna, what's happening here with that you see? Are we looking for a VWAP recapture here? MACD's curling. This is starting to look like we might have something going on here, but we need to get above that VWAP, and then we'll be in that consolidated range from the pre-market.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Not sure I would take that, but still, I think that setup is spot on there, 13.
A pot, but not much after. Okay. All right.
Market trying to bounce again. I'm not even going to try it, though. I'm going to wait for it to prove it. I'm not going to try and front run it. Tesla basically giving back all of its gains here today.
Well, if that trend line is the level everybody's watching, then we could reverse pretty soon. But yeah, this is the candle I was expecting. Still looking for some support around 643, 644. What do you plan to do besides recover this Friday?
I'm not doing anything today, dude. I'm going to lay around until the football game. I'm going to watch that as long as I'm not in the emergency room. And then it'll be an early night, Costco tomorrow, and then college football tomorrow. I am going to max out on football.
Nice. I'm going to be doing the same. So looks like open door starting to do a little recovery here. Still looking for 625. Might get it. Not sure here. INHD still holding above its VWAP. Neon first screen candle in a while, about 45 minutes. Hour still trying to push for that 550 print.
Maybe we're getting our first bounce here in the market. Maybe.
That'd be cool.
Well, the question is it going to be a short-lived bounce? Is it just going to get sold off like the rest of them?
This one, I mean, it was pretty close to that trend line, so not sure.
V, by the way, this was a good call from earlier. This thing had no strength today, and it never even materialized. Let's check in on Lululemon and Broadcom, our two earnings plays here from today. Boy, Lulu gave that back. Look at that.
Yeah, there is a lot of September left, and we were anticipating that September would be a more of a down month following the monthly inflows. We got a little bit of an extended rally on that, but I think we're going to start to see some lower prints. We're probably.
I agree.
I think we're going to see under 635 this month.
This is the first day of September. That feels like September. Zach here saying there's a lot of September left. Indeed, there is.
Yep. It's starting to feel like fall.
I thought you were about to say it's starting to feel a lot like Christmas, and I was about to lose my mind.
No. I'm not one of those people that will start to talk about Christmas while we still have Thanksgiving on the table. That's not the kind of person I am. We need to get through that holiday first.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, with a big pull an hour there. So much for that one. That's MACD starting to roll over. That's probably as high as it's going to get, just 10 cents shy of the target of 550. PAPL back above its VWAP. Are we going to get another halt fest here with this one? We'll see. Open door. Look at this recovery. Back up at its 65 EMA, capturing that right now, knocking on the door of VWAP.
Wow. Nice there. Tell you what, that's not easy to time though. I mean, look at the sell-off, and that actually matched what the market was doing too. Maybe this is, I wouldn't chase this bounce. I'd just kind of risk off here today.
Yeah. Looks like hour might be coming in a little bit more. I think VEEE is going to just drop down to this 200 EMA real fast at some point here. Just not sure exactly when, but it just looks like it's getting ready to. It's like trading into a descending triangle. So once it loses, like I guess 260, 265, we're going to see it go down to the 200 EMA.
SPY still holding 645.5 here. We had a flash poll here, thanks to producer. Based on the Tesla news this morning, do you think Elon will be the world's first trillionaire? 66% of you said yes, 7% of you said no, 26% of you said not sure.
I guess I would want to see the list of billionaires and where they are at.
Well, what they're talking about, 13, is his compensation package, which is insane. They're trying to do like a new multi-tranche, 12-tranche compensation package, where the last tranche, the market cap of Tesla has to be 2x what NVIDIA is right now. It's insane. You should take a look at it when you get some time. It's an insane compensation package, but it's all milestone based, and is not really sure that you're going to hit that.
And what milestones? Is it price milestones, or is there like some kind of?
It's like market cap milestones.
Okay. Because I don't know that we'll end up seeing that until we get.
It's here. It's 1% for each $500 billion of market cap plus operational milestones that he has to hit.
I think that's what I was more interested in. What are those operational milestones? Like, is it referring to Optimus or Robotaxi or anything like that?
They include 20 million Tesla deliveries, 10 million active full self-driving subscriptions, 1 million robots, and 1 million Robotaxis in commercial operation, and a series of adjusted EBITDA benchmarks.
Okay. Yeah. I want to see those robot deliveries as well.
Yeah. I think we all do.
I think that's because in my opinion, I don't think it's Robotaxi or EVs or anything. It's all about Optimus. I think that's the big, big. And I think even he recently said that too.
He did. He said 80% of Tesla revenue is going to be from Optimus. You're exactly right.
Yep.
So
that's the big milestone I think that we need to see.
They were saying, though, that he's motivated by these types of packages, and that's one of the reasons they want to do it. They believe that all the shareholders will benefit from it too. Hey, don't look now, but that bounce that we talked about, yeah, it's getting sold like crazy.
Yeah, market's coming back in as well.
Sure is.
For that 640. Okay, here we go.
Brian, fake bounce. Hey, look, like I said, we've been watching a lot of these attempted bounces here today, and none of them have held. So not surprised to see this one as a fake one.
I get the sense that Open Door isn't going to completely sell off. If we do lose that 615 area, then probably. But I think it's trying to set up a bull flag. But if it loses that level I mentioned, then it's probably not going to be able to.
Okay, 13. We are going to go to Trading Made Simple with Paulo today next here. Do you have any closing words for the group?
Football's back, everybody. Let's have a good weekend watching some games. We had a great week trading some of these silly movers here. Slowed down this week, so we'll see what we end up getting next week. And it's probably going to be a pretty interesting one since I believe that's when we have the no, that's later on in the month. Going to be an interesting week either way. Going to have some fun. We'll find some movers. We'll trade them. We'll make some money. It'll be a good time. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. 13,
why do seagulls fly over the sea?
Oh, geez. Tell me.
Because if they flew over the bay, they'd be bagels. We'll see you on Monday, 13. Have a good one. 13 side eye right there. You gotta leave that there for dramatic effect. 13's departure leaves room for Paulo. Paulo, good morning. How are you?
Hello, Ryan. Good morning. How are you? Can you hear me successfully?
Yes, I can hear you great. And I'm doing all right. Got to deal with the speed sting, but otherwise doing all right. What do you got coming up for us?
Well, a lot of reversals. A very bearish day here in price action.
Yes, sir.
I actually had some bullish charts. Surprisingly, there's still a couple independent stocks looking bullish, but important bearish reversals in important Max 7 names as well.
All right. Let's waste no more time. Trading Made Simple with Paulo starts right now.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fits-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. And first, I would like to thank the team of Benzinga for inviting us here on Fridays to share some technical analysis and some market insights. All right, so a very bearish day we are seeing, and let's start straight here as we have no time to lose. If anyone would like to request any chart, any ticker, any ETF, any stock you would like to see, just type the ticker in the chat room. I'm reading here the chat room so I can see any tickers, and we can load up the chart and see it. All right. So the first one, we're going to start with the S&P 500. All right, what's going on? After Broadcom earnings, we had a very bullish pre-market. It was looking like the market was going to continue going into all-time highs, but we're seeing a strong bearish reversal. All right, so for the S&P 500, I would like to start first with a pattern we have been following, and this has been a very, very tricky market. So if you have been connecting to the live streams we have been doing, we have been looking here at a potential wave one after the market had the first COVID, right? It's 5-wave point into the 5-point correction, again into the bull market, now into a 3-point correction. I'm personally looking this as the start of a new bull market with a wave one potentially completing here, which of course would give us a wave two, which would be a great buying opportunity for more bullish continuation later. But first, we were having a big rejection here, and then it looked like the market was going for that potential 5 to 10% correction, but we actually kind of distributed here. So in the market, in the pre-market, it was looking like SPX was going for a bullish breakout here. But now with this pre-market, with this reversal we are seeing today, kind of seems that this was just a fake breakout, a liquidity grab, and that we are actually going for that wave two correction. So if we are going for a wave two correction in the markets, basically on the resistance, which is joining our previous highs under this macro Elliott wave count, the 2021, 2022 to 2024, 2025 highs brings us basically here on kind of like an ascending channel, even though it's not perfectly parallel. So which is the confirmation level? Confirmation level basically would be at 6,450, and we could even range it up to 6,500. It was looking like a bullish breakout, but now it looks like maybe we are going to still close below the confirmations. And then I would be looking for a drop in the market, and I would be looking to retest finally the 0.2 to 0.3 Fibonacci retracement range from the bottom of what seems a new bull market. So if we actually go to retest that zone from today's previous all-time highs, the 0.236 Fibonacci would be a 6.40 market that would still be viewed as a pullback. But if we actually drop to the 0.382, that would be, let me see here, 10.18, and that would already be correction territory. We could even maybe go to the 0.5 Fibonacci, but I wouldn't be discussing that yet. It's still a day-by-day market. So if we actually reject here and we see today's price action continuing the bearishness we're seeing, I would be looking for the 0.2 to 0.3 Fibonacci retracement range as support. I would also like to show on the quickly SPY on the 4 hours. Oh my God, Jesus. All right. I was looking initially, I'm still looking at this wedge pattern, and I would like to share that I actually got bearish here on starting September when we lost the wedge pattern, right? We were losing the wedge pattern. We did had a bearish divergence indicating breakdown of the pattern. But this here was actually a fake breakdown on the 4 hours. We can see the rising wedge. As the next candlestick, we quickly recover it, and then we had a short squeeze. Now we actually had a big reversal after retesting once again the rising wedge pattern resistance. And honestly, now it kind of looks like we're going to break down on it. We still have a bearish divergence, so we can see that the RSI, one of my favorite indicators, was actually correct, indicating that this move was a bull trap. We can see this high right on the RSI. This one was a higher high in price action on SPY, but it was a bearish divergence on the RSI 4 hours. Then we had this higher high, all-time high actually, against a bearish divergence, and today's brand new all-time high was also confirmed a potential fake move by the RSI, signaling here the drops. So looks like the SPY would now be ready to break down, and that would bring us that 10% correction in the market. Now let's go with the Dow here. The Dow is still looking bullish, I would have to admit it. We are actually, let me delete this 1 second. We actually managed to break above previous all-time highs. And so far, in this precisely minute and second, we're actually bouncing from what still remains a successful retest of previous all-time highs now, a support. That level would be located at 45,070. So if the Dow is able to close like this, it would still be looking bullish. And I would expect the wave one on the Dow to continue and potentially retest the 47,000 range. So kind of looks like the Dow could still go here. Now, if the Dow bears are actually able to invalidate this as a successful retest and wave one actually ended here, I would be looking for a correction as well. So we still kind of got some mixed signals in the market. Now let's go here with the NASDAQ. Same scenario for the NASDAQ, same setup as the S&P 500. And even though we're actually still having a bullish breakout, it kind of seems that it doesn't have much conviction. It kind of seems that this could just be a liquidity grab. If that is the case, I would be looking for wave one to actually complete and maybe reach its previous all-time highs as support at 22,234, which would be the 0.2 Fibonacci. If we are actually able to break above our previous all-time highs, that would be signaling continuation of wave one. So far, we're not yet having much of that momentum. And now I would also like to share DIA here on the 4 hours. Let me see what I have. No, that's a big candlestick with also a bearish divergence on the RSI. Kind of seems, well, we still would need to break below support, which now would be located at 450. So I would not rule out a bounce. In the end, this is still support, and you know how price action goes. But if we start breaking basically here below 452, 453, this would look like we are also reversing on the DIA and QQQ on the 4 hours. All right, so I was looking here at the head and shoulders on the 4 hours for the Qs. We can see it right here. I actually deleted it this morning, but now it looks like I have to draw it back again. So we were having here the head and shoulders. I was initially looking at this. Then I deleted it, right? This pre-market as we were invalidating. But seems that we are going potentially for a head and shoulders reversal. We could even argue in reality, this could be the right shoulder. I wouldn't try to get, that artistic with a chart. This could still be a left head and shoulders pattern, even though it's not perfectly parallel. Here the shoulders, and the neckline would be here. So if it is here, or as I draw it initially, in the end, that's just going to be a detail. With this 4 hour candlestick, I do think there is not much dubs in reality, that this was all a distribution, and the market is actually going for a 5 to 10% pullback, or even 10% to 15% correction. There are a couple mixed signals in between Max 7. Let's go with them, and then we're going to go with the request we have. All right, so first one, NVIDIA. Well, on the 4 hours, we got a triple top. It's already a triple top confirmed, but I actually wanted to show NVIDIA on the weekly. We already know that the 4 hours is not looking good. So NVIDIA looks like wave one completed. I wonder how much we are already correcting. Can we already call this a correction? Yes, we're down 10%. NVIDIA is officially in correction territory. Let me see. So what we have here for NVIDIA, it's wave, a brand new bull market, yes. But wave one, I do think it's ending here. So for NVIDIA, I would be looking at a retest here of previous all-time highs at 152. I do have a lot of homework for the weekend. Now I have to bring the Fibonacci retracements and basically draw everything. Yeah, so basically previous all-time highs would be located in between the 0.2 to 0.3 Fibonacci retracement. That's a typical retracement for correction waves, which would be corrective wave 2 and corrective wave 4 under a 5-point yield wave structure. So I would be looking at 147 to 160. No, honestly, 147 to 150. I do think we're going past the 0.2 Fibo. So I would be looking at maybe even the 40-week moving average, which would be the 200 daily moving average. That's also an important support. So I would be looking at this range here for NVIDIA. Another stock going through correction, Microsoft. And what was actually signaling the correction for Microsoft? The fake breakout. So we had a bullish breakout above the pandemic macro yield wave count, which connects our previous wave 1 and wave 3 highs. It was a bullish breakout, but we were not able to hold it. And those are actually very easy setups, because if a bullish breakout like this actually reverses, that means no bulls actually stepped in. We didn't see any buyers trying to defend the breakout, and that's bear territory. So Microsoft, it's already going through a correction. I do think it is, right? Let me see first. No, we are, let me see. Oh, no, yes, we're down almost 11% on Microsoft. It's officially a correction. I would be looking at wave 2 to maybe reach the 466 range. If I bring the retracement on the Fibo, where would the 0.2, 0.3? Oh, okay, no, we already broke below the 0.2. So for Microsoft, I would be discussing 0.3 to 0.5. Looks like we're going to those levels there. Now, this is the lonely bull, the lonely soldier here. And it's actually funny, and it does bring me a smile when I see this chart, because we're seeing the the bearish reversals on everything, right? Sentiment is looking very bearish today, right? But then you see Apple, and Apple is a bullish breakout. And I do think while Apple remains above 234, it should be traded as a bullish breakout. Yes, the question would be, could this still be a lower high for the stock? And we would have to follow that. If we see a bearish reversal so far, if you want me to be honest, I wouldn't even be ruling a potential retest of all-time highs for Apple. I wouldn't be ruling it out. When you see the RSI, you actually see that the RSI has a lot of room to run. Compare it to NVIDIA and Microsoft. See, we got overbought and we actually had the bearish divergence. Microsoft, we reached overbought. We didn't have, we actually also had a bearish divergence. But then you see Apple, and Apple has a lot of room to run still to the overbought. And we're having a bullish breakout in price action. So I would say Apple remains bullish above 233. If Apple can continue higher while the market goes through a correction, I wouldn't say no. The market basically went from SPX 4,800 to brand new all-time highs at 6,004, at the 6,000 range, while Apple was doing nothing. Actually, now this is starting to look like an accumulation here, to be honest, for Apple. So I wouldn't rule that Apple could continue inversing the market as it has been doing. Not completely inversing, true, but I mean, Apple was not showing bullish momentum while the market was doing so. So now I wouldn't say it's valid to say, okay, now the market might be showing some bearish momentum, Apple would have to follow. No, not necessarily. Apple could still be developing this bullish breakout we see. For Amazon, here, honestly, I would be a bit neutral, okay? The reason is, I do think maybe Max 7 stocks could even go to all-time highs. Yes, as Black Mamba mentioned, the Apple chart is individually looking bullish. I'm expecting a 10% correction on SPY and NDX, because that's what their charts are signaling. But Apple, when you go into the Apple chart, it's still looking bullish. And I would flip back bearish on Apple if we invalidate this breakout, right? But it kind of still looks like it has room to run. So for Amazon, I would say I'm neutral. We're at resistance here for Amazon, but which stocks have not been able to do a brand new all-time high? Apple, Amazon, and Tesla, right? Let's check them. Amazon, the bears, I would understand they would be entering here if the market is going for a 10% correction or maybe even a 5% pullback. However, if Amazon is able to break previous highs and we are able to break above 236, I would be looking for a quick run to 250, a brand new all-time high, and then actually drop, similar to what we saw on Meta. Meta, it was the same chart. We went there and we see it's a rising wedge for both. I don't even know where this one came out. Meta is now, so looks like the downside momentum is actually on Max 7 stocks, which already reached a brand new all-time high. So for Meta, I do think we're also going for a correction. And then you see Google, and Google already did it. But what I would be looking for Google? I think Google might do a move similar to Microsoft. It's the same chart as Microsoft. Let's go quickly back and forward here. See, the same chart. Previous 2021, 2024, 2025 highs, bullish breakout on Amazon, on Microsoft, not being able to confirm and then reversal. So I do think this could have been the top of a wave one for Google, and it will show a similar chart for Microsoft. A bullish breakout into correction. I do think Google, I mean, this is, of course, speculating because it's not confirmation yet on price action. Google will need to break below 220, but I do think on the upcoming weeks it might do so. And then another stock from Max 7 that it's kind of looking a bit like a bullish breakout, and I wouldn't rule it out. And I heard you guys were discussing a potential bull case for Tesla. Tesla actually, it's looking bullish, and it sounds funny because the other Max 7 not, but Tesla seems that if we're able to break above 355, we could retest resistance at 450. Check the RSI. Let me check the RSI as well for Amazon. See, Amazon not yet overbought. Amazon could actually also go for a brand new all-time high. Let me see if Google and Meta did it. Yes, Google went to the overbought. And Meta, where's the RSI? It's not loading. Oh. Meta, well, still bearish divergences, but yes, we were able to get to the RSI. So I do think we have some mixed signals in between Max 7. I do think NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, and Meta are now looking bullish. Tesla, Amazon, and Apple kind of look like we could still continue running. There's a couple more setups I would like to share, and then let's go with the request. AMD. I do think AMD is going now also through a correction. We actually lost the support trend line, and what I would be looking for AMD would be an inverse head and shoulders. I do think AMD is going here for a brand new bull market. I do think AMD is going to be able to print a new all-time highs. I would be looking for an inverse head and shoulder. Left shoulder, neckline, head, second neckline, right shoulder. So the right shoulder, I would try to catch it around 120, 130 here. And that would be the 40-week moving average as well. So for AMD, I would be looking for a potential head and shoulder. Now let's go here with the questions I see and also the request. The first one requested by Perry, it's going to be Broadcom, but unfortunately for Broadcom, we did have earnings yet. Well, good news for the bulls. I mean, unfortunately for the chart, it just had earnings yesterday. So I would like for price to market to digest a bit those news. This looks like a completed 5-wave into a correction. So this would be a brand new bull market. At first, I would say this is a wave 1 for Broadcom, and it might have ended here. But of course, that is just speculation. We haven't brought below anything, and I would like to redraw my chart after the earnings. So for Broadcom, I would say bull market, but after earnings, maybe we could be starting a wave 2 correction if the market in the end decides to go for that 10% correction. Of course, today's confirmation, we would still have to wait for it. Let's see. First, let me see if we have any ones that I already have charted. All right. No, so we're going with the other ones. Let's see. These ones I don't have charted, but let's check them quickly. Here we see requested. We're going in order, of course. Hive Digital Technologies. And let me try to see what we can quickly spot. Okay, accumulation. Nice. I don't know this company. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I don't like this price action, I don't like what I'm seeing here. Kind of like 4 years of going nowhere. Initially, I said accumulation because of the volume. All right, but I don't like past price. Well, I gotta be honest, this monthly volume here, it's looking like a buy. But I don't know about the company. I don't know what they do. And I don't know what happened in between these years. But this volume is showing institutional money. It's kind of only institutional money can trigger this volume. And I don't think institutional money is panic selling the stock here. So I do think something must be going on. Something must be going on here that the general public yet doesn't know, but this here is screaming accumulation. The red flag would be this past price history. What happened here? Still, this volume should absolutely be taken seriously. So actually, thank you for sharing this. I will keep this one on my watch list, and I will actually run some research on this company. I don't know what they do. Let's see the other one. Amazon, we already saw it. Let me see this one. Japan ETF. All right. Let's see here. All right. Well, almost all-time highs. I wouldn't say it's a strong chart. Support was too far. We're too far from support, which seems it would no. I thought it was maybe going to connect it. Oh, I see. It's a bullish breakout here. It's a bullish breakout here. Well, it looks bullish now. Now that we see it, it looks bullish. Looks like this was all an consolidation here. We broke out with a successful retest of the breakout. So I would say it's looking macro bullish, but I'm not sure if I would try to chase it here. Where could be a buy for this stock? That's a good question. Well, looks like here, if we were able to sustain this move. All right, so what I would do is I would put here a horizontal resistance there. Yes. And I would be looking for this. Here, a quick move. So if we were able to hold 77, this would look bullish. Actually, I would look for the bullish continuation if we break here. If we break higher, that would be signaling that this is a successful retest. So I would say longs for Japan ETF above 80.45 all-time highs. That would signal more bullish continuation. RSI could still have some room. If we start breaking lower than this support, I would be looking at 74 or even 70. Now let's go with the other one, FTNT. FTNT, right? Yes. Fortinet here. Let's see. On the weekly. Okay, the 200 weekly moving average with macro. Oh, no, this is a buy. From technicals, yet I don't know that, but it looks like the company is going good here. I mean, we're not seeing what we saw, for example, on Hive, right? Where what's going on in between those years. This one, Fortinet, this one looks good. This one could be a buy here. I mean, I'm only speaking technically. I don't know this company as well. Oh my God, no. Check this support. Let me see. It's a buy. That doesn't mean it necessarily has to continue higher, but I mean, here is where risk to reward favors bulls. Oh, and it's a channel. It's a channel. And we're at the lows of the channel. Nice. So we got the weekly oversold. And we also have here a big capitulation. Big capitulation here. But I do like this volume. I do like this volume coming in here. And in the following weeks, we also have the 200 weekly moving average, which was support on 2023 October and 2024 August. So I would say the stock could be a potential buy. Do we have Elliott wave counts here? Do we have an Elliott wave count? If we start here, this would be 1, 2. But I'm not sure if it's not that clear. It's not that clear. The correction does look like a 3-point correction. ABC correction here. I do think this could be a buy. I like the weekly volume. If we go to the monthly, how does this look? I like this chart, you know. Even if we start before. This one is looking interesting. I got a lot of homework for the weekend. This one could be a buy here. All right, let's check the other one. Let's see which other. I think we can do one more. And let me see. Alibaba, yes, we can see Alibaba. All right, so let's go the final one with Alibaba here. And then I will share a couple of stocks super quickly if we got time. Oh, but I don't have Alibaba. Let me see. Last time I saw, yes, I do have it. Last time I saw it was an accumulation. Oh, stage two. Stage two. Let me delete this. It's a buy. Alibaba here, it's a buy. Yes, there's all the tariffs and the China tension going on, but it's looking like this is an accumulation. No, this is bullish. This is looking bullish for Alibaba. It's an accumulation here. We broke above the accumulation range, and we are back to retesting the accumulation. Despite we're seeing some chop around here, looks like we are actually breaking out from the range, and we could be going for stage two. Alibaba could be the swing trade, the swing trade calls, the long swing trade. It could be for the next weeks. Thank you for letting me know this one, actually. Yes, Alibaba here is looking like stage two could start. I also like here the cross, the 40-week moving average crossing the 200 weekly moving average, and Alibaba finding support constantly through the 40-week moving average. That is looking bullish. See, here we flipped the 40-week moving average. Yes, we rejected from the 200-week moving average, but we found support again at the 40. We broke above absolutely everything, and then we retested that absolutely everything now as support. Boom, strong bounce, second bounce with a higher highest confirmation. I do think Alibaba does look bullish here, and I do have one more I would like to share, but I don't know where it would be, so no promises on that. Where is it? Adobe. Where is Adobe? Here it is. Are we bouncing or not? Yes, we're still bouncing. We're still bouncing. So I do think, I'm not an investor on Adobe. I only hold 10 positions. I go 10% from my long-term investment account into 10 individual stocks. Adobe would not be on my top 10, but if you like Adobe stock, here it looks like a buy. It looks like a 5-point completed correction. We're retesting a super macro pattern that goes all the way back to 2019. And that level would be here, 332. And actually, Adobe is able to bounce here. And we're having a bullish divergence on the RSI. We're having a bullish divergence on the RSI, yes. So for Adobe, I would say it could be a buy here. So for closing here, let me see, where is, NVIDIA could be a short here, retesting the triple top neckline. I wanted to check quickly on the 4 hours. Where are we actually here? Okay, we bounced at support. We bounced at that support we mentioned for the DIA. For SPY, we're still bouncing here. Okay. So I would like to see this development. It's still early in the morning, but so far the bulls were able to step at that support we signal. See, SPY, we bounced right there. Bounce right on the wedge pattern. For DIA as well, we bounce right there on that support we mentioned. So let's see if the bears can go for round 2. And QQQ could even try to signal this as a retest of a breakout if we were able to break above 557. So we do have some mixed signals as closing conclusions. Some Max 7 stocks are looking bearish. The market, I would say we are at resistance still, even though the Dow is still kind of managing to break out. I would say it's still kind of looking like we could go through those corrections, but we would need to wait for today's weekly candlesticks confirmation, especially the S&P 500 here. So if the S&P 500 is able to close below 6,440, 450, this will look like a liquidity grab, and I would be looking at 5 to 10% drop first. If the bulls are maybe able back to step in, able to step back in, and maybe we recover this bounce, I would be looking maybe the markets could still distribute while Apple, Amazon continue their moves. And let's see, we have too many mixed signals now, but some stocks look like a buy despite some bearish setups between other tickers. So that will be all for today. I hope it was a nice live stream. I would like to thank you everyone for joining. Also, I would like to thank Ryan and all the team from Benzinga for inviting us here on Friday. So if you would like to learn more about what we do a lot of automation, also live trading sessions, as well as coaching sessions. And you can visit our website, www.tradingmadesimple.org. We have trade alerts. We're always trading there, the market in the Discord. So if you would like to learn more about us, don't forget to visit our website, www.tradingmadesimple.org. And we can trade the market together, as well as set some automated trades, which we can just set them and forget them. So that will be all for today. Thank you, everyone. I hope we all have a great weekend. And let's see how we close this weekly candlesticks. We have a bit of mixed signals. I would hope them to be a bit more resolved into the final minutes. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.